But anyway, YouTuber Turkey Tom, very popular guy, came under some fire recently. I don't know if you guys know that. Some fire. Where is it? Where did I watch? Oh, there it is. But he put out a response. Stop it, Tom. I'm not ready for you yet. He put out a response to the allegations. A guy like Tom is very popular among e-girls. Like that's like their dream guy is Turkey Tom, because he's quirky. He says weird shit. He literally coined the term upper decky. You know, EG is so handsome. Thank you, New Moon. I try. I really gotta up my game and start doing like some photo shoots and try to thirst trap some more people. You know, I think that's why people like Charlie, Moist Critical, because I think a lot of people think he's handsome too, and he's got the personality to go along with it. What's your opinion on Turkish Thomas, Phallic?
Um, I don't have a negative opinion of him. Um, I just, would kind of love to see him like branch out more. He's done it a couple times in the past from just slop content. Um, so I know he's capable of it. But uh but yeah, I don't dislike the dude. I think he's kind of funny sometimes. And I think he's very quick with getting information and doing his research and stuff. So I don't dislike him for that. He also looks a lot like my son. So like if
Oh,
my son was grown up.
okay. I guess I can understand that. Why do I only
So
stream at 720p? I didn't know that was an option. I do think that while I'm live streaming, I think it only goes to 720p, and then once it renders, then you can watch it in 1080. That's what I understand. Because I can watch my videos in 1080, but it's only after they process. So I'm not sure if that's a YouTube thing or whatnot. But I don't know if I ever actually picked one. But it also could be something I set up in OBS, so that it would be like more, like less blotchy or spotty. Probably when I set all this stuff up, I probably went and watched somebody like set up, like how to properly set up OBS so that it would look good or it would stream solidly or something. I don't know. I heard EG wants to thirst trap people for bottom. That's exactly why I want to do it, Carla. That's exactly why. I was watching K-Huck at much higher. Well, K-Huck does things better than I do. I don't know what to tell you guys, okay? She's got more audience members. She's got a better laugh. I don't know what to tell you guys, all right? I'm doing the best I can, all right?
I
So,
don't know. Does she yell at her audience as much as you do?
yeah, actually, I think she does more. I think she actually does more, so... But she does it in like a cute way. Like she doesn't ever get like angry with her audience. She just like does it in like a very adorable way where it's like obviously. I mean, I never get like I think I do it over the top so that everybody knows I'm just messing about. But anyway, so going back to your boy Tom, this is what kills me. I go to edit these videos later and I'm like, all right, this is where I start talking about it. And then and then I immediately go squirrel, and then it's like 20 minutes of me just rambling about something else. And then back to talking about the topic, because if I cut these up, it's usually the topic is the only thing that I talk about or the only thing I leave in there. And here I'm doing it again. So let's focus on Turkey Tom. Okay, so Turkey Tom, I wouldn't be I don't think many people would be surprised to find out that this guy fucks. Let's be honest. This guy lays pipe with lots of ladies. Okay, he's in his 20s. He's a huge star on YouTube. Makes lots of money. Girls, he's like a Kiwi Farms darling. So all like the pretty e-girls that are online or whatever, like obsess over this guy. He's slinging dick. Let's just put it this way. He's slinging dick. Now, I do want to say that this is quite graphic, okay? So if you're not comfortable with sexual talk, which I'm surprised if you aren't comfortable because you're on my stream, because we talk about bottoming like 24/7. On here, but he came under some accusations. Now Tom's gonna walk you through most of this stuff, and we're mainly here to give our reactions. Like I haven't covered this yet because I was waiting for Tom's response. It was looking like a lot of people were calling this bullshit before it even happened because of like
Well, we talked about it briefly.
yeah.
Not saying that her claims were false or anything. I think it was just that we thought at the time it was just maybe the dynamics of the relationship, but there wasn't enough information to say anything for sure.
Yeah, and I think that this video though is basically. I mean, Tom has covered drama for a long time. Tom is a very intelligent young man. To sound unky, this guy knows what to avoid. I mean, he covers drama 24/7. He knows how to avoid being in drama, and you'll see throughout this whole video how much this guy protects himself, how smart he is. Honestly, this is like aside from the fact that he's a guy who likes to have sex with women, like most men do. I think that he is like how he's exactly like a 101 what you should do to avoid getting in trouble on the internet and how to protect yourself against crazy women, which you're going to see in this one. That this is from what I previewed it earlier. I'm not going to give you my I'm not going to give you like my takes now, because then you won't even need to watch it because you'll just know what I think. So anyway, Tom responds to all these allegations. One of the allegations against him was that he was illegally filming, unconsensually filming sexual encounters with girls without their knowledge. The second allegation was that Tom is way too aggressive when he was, canoodling with these ladies. And then the third one, I think, is that he was doing like age play or something like that. So he addresses all this stuff in this, and he brings receipts. And again, I just want to say, this is like a bit, if you are a YouTuber, follow how Tom does this, because not only one does he show you how to protect himself, to protect yourself from allegations like that can be made against you, especially if you're somebody out there who isn't like into monogamy, or and he also shows you how to like come with receipts and make a good argument. So with that said, let's get into it. Turkey Tom responds to the allegations against him. It probably works better if I have it coming through the speakers. Professional streamer, don't judge me.
Together before saying anything. Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into...
Oh, wait, yours isn't. Yours might not be coming through. Well, it should be coming through.
Okay, so I'll have to watch it on stream.
It's not coming through on the stream that I have up there right now?
Okay, no, but it is on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how to fix that on Discord alone.
Sorry for interrupting. I'll just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Hang on. I know how to fix this, Phallic. Because you're in the conversation. I kind of have to have you up to date with what I'm saying. Because then I can't be like, what'd you think of that, Phallic? Because I'll be waiting 10 minutes for you to be like...
for me to catch up.
Yeah. Hang on, we gonna fix it. We gonna fix this. We gonna do it. I gotta hop in now. I gotta double. I'm gonna mute my mic. Mute my mic so that you're not hearing me twice. Alright, so now I'm gonna take down this one here, because I don't think that we need to have that one if you have this one, because this is just the video. Alright, now you should be able to hear it, hopefully.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Alright, back in the action. Turkish Thomas, addresses the allegations.
Age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations.
So I want to go...
two women who are...
I'm going to go back just a little bit here so that you guys can hear what the allegations are again. Because I feel like we pretty much stepped all over those. So.
That it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations. The two women who are accusing me,
I gotta get
ex-girlfriend along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations. The two women who are accusing me, Sacramento89, real name Rowan, and Left 4 Dead, real name Katie, took to gossip forum Kiwi Farms to post the accusations, along with carefully cherry-picked screenshots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first post.
I wanted to read what that it was so quick. I wanted to read what it said, just so that everybody can hear. Now I gotta be quick with it.
With Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first.
All right, just so that anybody who's listening can hear everything. Yeah. So she made a post, Sacramento 89 on Kiwi Farms. First off, if you're like habitually on Kiwi Farms, chances are you're like online an unhealthy amount because
chronically online. Yeah, because
don't those people, the people who like go on Kiwi Farms, all they do all day long is talk about influencers and like locales. And and I believe the Kiwi Farms all started from Chris Chan, which is where like it got its start. Everybody just talking about Chris Chan,
just documenting everything,
Yep. So she writes, hi, Kiwi people. I dated Tom for a few months after meeting him on Tinder. I'm not super into internet stuff. Yeah, bullshit. That's a lie. And had no idea what Kiwi Farms was. Again, probably a lie. But this page was always his #1 search Safari thing that pops up on iPhone. When he went to Google something, when I asked about this website, he got super defensive and weird about it. Again, I don't believe anything she's writing here for a second. So I obviously looked into it and found all this crazy shit, like him admitting to being bisexual, ? Messaged the owner of this website, Joshua Moon, to get the code to post here. Basically, I started to get suspicious about all the e-girls he's followed, interacted with, and he started raging at me. I mean, this kid's in his 20s. Like, what do you expect? The guy's going to be laying pipe.
I do have, beyond that, like if you're just dating somebody, like I do feel like this level of interference with like, oh, what is his first Google result on his phone, or getting suspicious about e-girls that he's followed or interacted with, like that's kind of like late game stuff. Like in the beginning, you should respect his privacy a little more, is all I'm saying. And that's like a weird take for me because of like my past experiences, but I didn't really get jealous of people or anything until like after I had my son. So
she continues and says, basically I started to get suspicious about all the e-girls he's followed and interacted with, and he started raging at me. He also lied to me at first about the fact that he does YouTube. He did some crazy shit like kicked holes in the walls at a house he was renting because some e-girl who copies Bella Delphine got hacked, and the hacker was blackmailing him with his dick pics. He continued to talk to her after the fact. I have some screenshots confirming all of this. By the way, if my dick ever gets leaked online, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be like, yeah, check out that bad boy, right? Very blessed. Very blessed. I ain't shaming the game, although I'm not gonna make it easy. If you want it, you're probably gonna have to hack me for it. I have screenshots confirming all this. Attached a couple, but I think I have more. This guy is a real freak. Likes to record sexual encounters without asking first during almost every time. I know for a fact he's done this at least one other girl, serial gooner, and has flown out several e-girls to sleep with. As I'm sure many, many YouTubers probably do that. I personally have never done that. Probably never will do that. He told me he has a file on his computer called Just In Case that's basically voice memos or calls from his exes to blackmail them in case they ever saw something about him. Thought I would get the message out and confirm y'all's suspicion. Also, if this gets out to warn other young women in the Texas area about this dude. I don't think it's uncommon for YouTubers to keep records in case anything like this happens, and you're about to find out why keeping these records is something he probably did do and why it was important to him to keep track of it. It was almost like she knew that this would come out and she was trying to get ahead of it, you know? But anyway, let's keep going.
Post. Here, she alleges that I am a real freak and like to, quote, record sexual encounters without asking for consent. This is blatantly untrue. I have never recorded any sexual encounter without explicit consent. As a matter of fact, with Rowan, she was the one who initiated the idea of filming sex acts in the first place. On Tuesday, August 19th, after 3 months of knowing each other and being sexually active, Rowan texted me saying, "You should get those meta glasses when you crack me." I responded by saying, "For what?" And she answers again, "Cracking time," alluding to me filming her with the glasses onboard camera. Now, at the time, I did not feed into this. I did not show enthusiasm. I didn't even agree to get the glasses. I just responded and said, "Good night, sweet dreams." So one whole...
Is that what... Do you think that that's mostly what people use those meta glasses for, is just for, like, sex tapes?
No, but I do think they use them for harassing people on the street.
I know for a fact they do that because there's a ton of YouTube channels where people wear the meta glasses. They'll go out and try to hit on girls without those girls even knowing they're being recorded. And I think it's disgusting that they do that. And most of the times when the guys do this stuff, like you can see in the comments, everybody's just like, "This is gross, dude. This is disgusting." One, because unless you're up on the glasses and can see that they're meta glasses, you know, people usually will tape. There's a red light that comes on, but it's easy to put black tape over that so that you can't see that you're being recorded. And I'm pretty sure that Meta and Facebook knows exactly what they're doing with these glasses when they made them. They're spy glasses. That's exactly what they are, you know? And then they add a little couple bells and whistles to act like they're not spy glasses. But they're friggin' spy glasses, Meta. Let's be honest.
Whole week goes by without us talking about it whatsoever, and then on August 25th,
and I do not fly out people to bottom with. It happened one time.
Real. So I respond by saying, "I think I'm going to avoid filming anything involving sex for a while," showing that I am clearly not the person interested in filming our sexual encounters.
I'm assuming this went on when the Destiny thing happened, because he said, given the recent events, because he was really close friends with Destiny, and then all of Destiny was like sharing all of his like sex tapes that he had with girls that he was trying to bang. I can already tell you,
I don't like the way this lady talks. Can't have any first with the ran through guy. Okay, well, move on then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. It gets worse. It gets really, really bad. Again, I just want to warn you guys that if you're not comfortable talking about like or hearing sex talk, this is not the stream for you, and I totally understand. I think Nicholas has a pair of those glasses. Not 100% about that though. Nick, Diorio. Should I get meta glasses so I know where I've been? Maybe. The only thing that a friend of mine at work has them, and he brought them in, and he was like, I'm like, "What can you do with them besides record?" And he was like, "Well, I can say, what am I looking at, Meta? And then it'll tell me." I'm like, what's this car? What am I looking at? You're looking at a car. Okay, I can just look that up like myself. I don't need Meta to tell me like what am I looking at. I'm looking at an apartment. Like, is it, like that's, you know, I'm sure they'll come a long way until I can have like YouTube pop up in my glasses or something. I'm not buying them. I want to be able to like if they're gonna do like an augmented reality thing where I can have like a little screen up while I'm working or something. And like watch something like that would be something I'd be interested in. But other than that, like I'm not really interested in what they do now. I'm not trying to secretly record people. I didn't invest all this money in these nice cameras just to go wear meta glasses everywhere. You know what I mean? Plus, I have a phone. You know? Am I that lazy that I'm not going to pull my phone out?
She is. As you can see in the text, even when I say I don't want to film us having sex, she pushes the issue. Now, to be clear, we did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also on September 8th, Rowan...
Now, I wonder if she was counting on the fact that he wasn't going to release these videos. Obviously, he's not going to release sex tapes, right? I wonder if she was counting on him not releasing those sex tapes and just hoping that people believe her. But clearly, she's the one initiating a lot of the sex talk. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been with people who are hypersexual. I don't mind having like sex talk with my partner. It's just like I don't want it to be like the only thing we talk about. Like when I'm in a flirty mood, I'll talk about it, but I don't want it to be like 100% what the conversation is most of the time. And I have dated girls where it's been like that, where it's just like nonstop, like, oh, I want, I'm not going to tell you exactly what, but it was very graphic. And it was like 9 times out of 10, that was what I was getting messaged. And I just kind of like, is that all this is? Like, is that all that this is to you? Because, I'm not really, I want more than that. Like, I want to be able to talk about aliens and stuff too, not just my member.
Text me, I do miss it though, in regards to our sexual interactions. She follows it up by saying send the videos. Keep in mind, these are videos that she claims in present day were taken without her consent. She then goes on to say, and I quote, I will watch them and keep them close to my heart, clearly indicating she has no problem whatsoever with them existing. I'm an extremely paranoid person when it comes to my personal life and my sex life and my dating life.
As he should be.
As a public figure, I just like to keep my private life private. So I was very hesitant to send Rowan any sexual videos we had taken. However, I did send her one single still image from one of the videos where my face is obscured.
My guess is if she did get this video, she would have leaked it. That's what I think. I don't think that
that's how Kim Kardashian got started.
Yeah, and I mean, you'll come to find later that this girl pretended like she didn't know who Tom was, but she knew who Tom was and was obviously like trying to get on him for a while. And she's probably used to getting the guy she wants. Like the girls that Tom's getting with are usually very pretty e-girls or whatever, but I definitely think that when girls feel hurt and scorned, especially like the ones that are kind of unhinged, they will absolutely want to do anything they can to ruin this guy because at that point, like, what do they care? It's just like, oh, look, yeah, I got a great body, but what about Tom though? Tom spent all this time working on his career and now it's gone. Blue Jay says, I hope if they add that feature, they don't allow it to happen while you're driving. Oh, what the thing in the glasses? Yeah, that probably wouldn't be very safe.
Yes, there was some lingering thought in the back of my mind that if her accounts were not locked down super well, and if she had been hacked, then the videos could have been made public. Now, there's an implication she makes a few different times that I'm basically blackmailing her with these videos.
Somebody asked if you had any intention of getting any sort of like law enforcement involved, but I feel like you answered this where you just want to try to compel him to delete whatever he has on you, and that's like the extent of your interest.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about what to do, but we'll see.
At no point anywhere did Rowan provide any proof of me threatening to release these videos of us having sex, or threatening to send them anywhere, so she has no reason to believe that I would ever release them. The idea that I, a person who makes a living as a public figure, would publicly release videos of me fucking my ex-girlfriend to get back at her is so insane. Not only would that...
Yeah. Sweet
Especially
says...
in this day and age. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say Sweet says maybe a pierogi type of thing, and yeah... Sweet, there's a lot of similarities between this and what was going on with Pierogi. I think that this girl was trying to get these tapes just so she can use it. And you'll hear it. He's got like voice messages and stuff, and this girl clearly was trying to ruin his life unless he got back with her.
If the tapes ever came out, it would be way more detrimental for him than it is for her. Like, think about AI and the type of YouTube sphere he's in. Like, it would not be good.
Also, that video that he just showed was from the Kiwi Farms live stream, and you could see like he does. I think Froggy Fresh referred to him as Kiwi Farms text to speech, which essentially is where Tom gets like all of his information. He's pretty much on Kiwi Farms nonstop looking for info on people. And you can see that everybody in the chat is like making fun of him because this girl was like coming out, and it just goes to show you how dangerous this information can be. Because before you hear Tom's rebuttal, everybody's just blindly believing. Who did this happen to that we both know, Phallic?
Remind me.
Nerd City.
Oh yes, Nerd City.
People.
Oh yeah.
People. They immediately believe the first thing they hear without any like proof from the contrary. They don't even want to hear it because I did like a couple-hour interview with Nerd where he cleared all of it up, showed why everybody was taking everything he said, like why he did what he did, and how everything's just getting painted so bad faith. Nobody was interested in watching that one. They only cared about the videos where people were shitting on him because it's more entertaining to them. But it's not right, and it's exactly why this world sucks sometimes. And I'm sure
sometimes,
all the time. Yeah, it happens all the time. Most people will hear something, and then no matter what the contrary information that comes out afterwards are, it doesn't matter. Because the rumor that they hear first is the rumor they believe until the day they die. And it sucks. But I do think, again, that Tom is showing perfectly how to deal with these situations, how to put together a well-formulated response to these criticisms. Something I wish that Nerd would do, because, you know, I think
he prefers to pick fights on.
If it came from...
Not that I mind that. I kind of like a fighter, but...
I feel incredibly blessed that he came to me and, like, talked to me about it. Because, one, you know, the guy's such a huge inspiration for me. But I couldn't do enough for him. You know, if he put out a video talking about it, I think that it would have done... Like, if Nerd had done something like this...
He won't.
I know he won't, but if he had done it, I think he probably could have at least painted a lot more eloquently and his reach would have been a lot better than mine. But I don't know. I still feel like I let him down by not having that video do better. But I mean, sometimes you have no control over how a video performs in the algorithm or anything like that. But
you did just fine, EG. Don't worry.
I know, but I wish that I could have done more for him. You know, but like this isn't the first time this happened to someone like Tom. But Tom is like, you know, exactly what you do in a situation like this. You put together your rebuttal. You show proof. Like nobody, after Tom's done this video, there's no way you can argue that any of the allegations against him are true in any way.
For reputational harm beyond belief, but also serious legal consequences. The only person who has ever sent an image of us having sex to anyone is, ironically, Rowan. Days after I broke up with her, she, without my consent, sent the only image she has of us having sex to the owner of Kiwi Farms. Here, listen to him describe it.
Oh, and one other thing, I forgot about this, but you actually, Sacramento had sent me a picture that was like censored. Apparently the only picture that he would send you is one where his face isn't clearly visible in it. But you can, yes. I can tell the desk, like his computer is moved onto the table, but I can still see like the monster is like on the cozy that's like on the table, like in the exact same position. So I can tell that's clearly his desk.
I guess I just find it ironic that someone who's accusing me of blackmailing her with her nudes literally sent a picture of us having sex to a man that she has never met. Now, Josh recounts seeing this image and talks about how hard it looks like I was grabbing Rowan on the mouth, essentially using it as evidence to support another claim she makes that I am too rough during sex, which I find very interesting because after I sent Rowan this photo, she texted me saying, "I like when you cover my mouth like that." Again, she texts me asking me to send her the videos, and she says, "Yeah, whenever you're not locked in, send the videos."
We need some women shame right now. And I'm sure we're going to get into this, like...
Oh, it gets so much worse. It gets so much worse.
But we need to hold ourselves accountable as women. Sometimes you do like your intercourse to be a little bit more rough. Yeah. You know?
Every girl says that until they need to get back at the guy that they were rough with, or they let be
and then
rough
that's
with
where
them.
we have to be holding other women accountable, all right?
Yeah, like, exactly. Yeah.
Sometimes we like the spicier nights, and that's okay. Sometimes we want the softer nights, and that's good too. But you cannot be turning that around and using it against the man that you asked to be rough with you. You can't do that.
Yeah, you're ruining your sex life because the next time that you go to want to get like roughhoused by the next guy you date, they're gonna be like, I don't think so. Like, I'm not trying to end up in your next like Kiwi Farms post. You know, like it's dangerous. And I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, the girls that I've dated at least all enjoy a little roughness here and there. You know, I don't think that I've met many girls that like just slow sensual the whole time. Even like the very nice girl next doors that I've dated, every one of them, at some point wanted a little rougher. Like, let's be honest, you know, it doesn't become a problem until they need it to be a problem.
It will fix me for about a week. Goon sash. This is clear evidence that she has no problem with these videos existing. To this day, she has provided zero proof that the videos were recorded non-consensually, or that I was blackmailing her with them, or that I had any intention of sending them to anyone. Reason being, I never did any of those things. In Rowan's interview, she claims that I never asked for consent to film these sex acts, and says that she wouldn't notice I was filming until 30 seconds to 1 minute into it.
I'm not sure of an exact date, but maybe like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, he never asked me. He would just pull out his phone and record, and I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute or a minute into it.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone. But,
yeah. That's what she was counting on.
It's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts. She never once questions why I'm filming.
See, now this is much different than what happened with Destiny, because Destiny had a phone in his pocket recording him on a Grindr date with another man while they engaged in oral sex. Now, why was that phone in your pocket? Why is it nothing but audio? And why is he sending it to all these random people? That I could believe is non-consensual. I believe Tom, though, when he says this, and you're going to see why, and he backs it up with evidence, as we would expect someone like Tom to do.
Or what I'm doing, because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Ask yourself, how could she possibly have never consented to filming?
I do enjoy rough bottoming.
She's literally holding my phone next to her face as she sucks my dick. In the interview...
Again, I warned you, it gets... First off, you're on my channel. You know we're going to talk sex talk. All right, but just again, to reiterate, that's just the beginning of the adult theme that we're going to get into. So just be forewarned, okay? It's going to get sexy.
She says that what really concerns her is that I wouldn't send her any of the sexual videos we took.
I had asked him multiple times if he could please send me the videos, so like he's not the only one who has videos of me naked.
That is the worst excuse I've ever heard for someone needing videos. I just didn't want
to blow up about the same thing. You don't understand why he doesn't want you to have the videos. You already sent a screenshot to somebody you don't even know. On one of the most toxic websites on the internet. Like, he has so much reason to not send you that video, especially since he wasn't okay with it really in the first place, telling you he's paranoid. Good. I'm glad he's paranoid. Yep. Oh, I don't like shady females.
When I dated a girl in my 20s. It was probably the longest relationship I ever had, and in that time we did film ourselves quite often, engaging in like sexual acts. But after we had broken up, I ended up just deleting all the videos because, one, I just did not feel like I had a right to those videos anymore. I was not with her. She was with a new guy. She was having kids and stuff, and I just didn't want any risk of those ever somehow getting hacked or getting leaked and in her life getting ruined. Some people made fun of me for that and said that I was I forget what a couple guys made fun of me for saying that I had done that, but I think it was the right thing to do. There's, after you're out of a relationship with someone, I don't understand why you would still have rights to all those intimate moments. Plus, I was heartbroken, so I didn't want to watch those anyway because it just broke my heart every time that I would. This is not the conversation for him.
This is a weird time for my son to be walking.
Yeah.
Mommy, you can hold mommy's sweater.
This is an 18+ topic chat. If you are a minor, please leave, or feel uncomfortable, you can leave. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes. This is pretty much 18 plus. I can't make you leave, but I would highly suggest that if you are a minor, this is not the right talk for you. So,
all right. And that's a good point too. It's like I never really asked my ex-husband to delete stuff that we had made, but I didn't delete anything that I have on my phone either. But it's kind of like that's a mutually assured destruction kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. For me, there was multiple reasons why I didn't want to keep them anymore. Mainly, it was just too hard to have those videos. Because I was heartbroken when that relationship ended. One of the few times that I was broken up with and was very heartbroken. A lot of times, anytime a relationship ends, it's hard. But that one was specifically hard. Because I was still 100% in on wanting to stay with her, and she was not. And those ones are always very, very difficult. I heard EG deleted the videos because he didn't want his bottoming partners to see them. That's the other reason. That's the other reason, Carla.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that it hurts. It's just I don't want the bottoming.
Yeah. Forget my heartbreak. Forget the fact that I was head over heels for that girl. It was all about the bottoming at the end of the day. It's always been about the bottoming.
And he either ignored the question or was just like, no.
As I said earlier, I was paranoid to send these videos to anyone, even her, for fear of them leaking. Weirdly, in messages at the time, she seems to actually...
Which, again, I believe 100% if he had given her these videos, they would have been leaked. I can almost guarantee it.
She did leak. She leaked what she had.
Yeah, she leaked the one screenshot. It wasn't a full video. It was just a screenshot that Tom had taken from the video and sent to her, where his face wasn't in it. And she gave it to Kiwi Farms. How much do you think Kiwi Farms would have paid for a sex tape of Tom? Probably a lot. And she would have cashed in immediately. Although that is revenge porn, and you cannot do that. So, I think Tom's got a lawsuit. He absolutely has a lawsuit here if he wanted it against her and any other person that did this. This is slander in the highest degree. The internet has exposed so many kinks I never even considered before. It's like people do that. Yeah, yes. The younger generation are freaky deeks. Freaky deek. And I blame the hub for that. I blame the hub. Because people watch the hub and then think that that's how it's done, and that's not necessarily how it's done. So, but they see that and they want to reenact that. You have to think about it. Like the kids these days that grew up, we only had the Spice Channel and stuff, or when real late at night you had the little cable would if you had regular cable, you could turn on the Spice Channel or the Playboy Channel after a certain time, and it would be scratchy, but every once in a while you'd see a boob fly by, and you'd be like, "Oh, there it is." But these kids today, I mean, you were you got whatever you got back then. Most times the only time guys would see a boob is if they picked up a National Geographic, right? With the tribes in Africa. But
oh my God,
it's the truth though. Trust me. Most of the men who ever watch this can agree to that. That most of the time, the first time we ever saw a boob was when we were scrolling through the National Geographic in school with the topless tribes, and we were like, "Oh my God, that's what they look like." But
was it the Stars cable channel? Was that the one that had they played spicy movies?
Skinamax. At night, you would have the softcore stuff that would come on.
It was but the first one I remember finding. Maybe my mom and dad had some illicit channels on there, but the first one I remember seeing was I couldn't sleep and I went down to watch TV. And somehow I stumbled upon this movie called Lord of the G-String, which is a lesbian-ish porn based off of Lord of the G-Strings.
Oh, God.
So I know there was definitely a channel that did more than softcore.
Yeah, I think, no, I only remember Cinemax, and then HBO would have these real sex show, and then they would have taxi cab confessions where sometimes people would get down in the back of a taxi cab, and Which, by the way, I'm shocked that HBO doesn't still have those like on HBO Max. Like you would think that they'd have that whole. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of those people are in like their 60s now, and probably don't want taxi cab confessions coming out, showing them getting it on in the back of a taxi cab in New York or something like that. You know. But
it was just a different time. It was just a different.
Yeah, it was the 90s. You know, what do you expect? What do you expect? Flying monthly python boobs. But yeah, if you think about it, like these kids have, you can literally nail down the very niche that you want to see. You want to see 2 girls and a guy. You want to see 3 girls and a guy. You want to see 5 girls and a guy. You want to see 5 guys and a girl. You know, you want to see black, white. You want to see different ethnicities. Like you could have anything you want now with the way that the hub works. That was not what it was like for us. So that's, I think, where the generational gap may come in, and why the younger generation is definitely more into like the more eccentric aspects of it. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still plenty of us millennials that throw down, but that's not the topic at hand. But I do think that this is where a lot of this stuff comes from, and I think that a lot of times girls think that this is what guys want.
And how old is Turkey Tom, by the way? Like, he's not old.
I think he's like 24, 23.
Yeah, he's still baby. He's still baby.
Yeah, and the girls, I think, were like 21. So, I do think that, the girls tend to think that this is what guys want. And
yeah, he's a 23.
Yeah, so, he's a youngin'. And when I was his age, I was doing the same thing. I wasn't the best with girls, but... And I don't mean like I wasn't.
Something to be said too. I mean, maybe about younger females is they're also not thinking great.
Yeah, they're not like at this age. Most of these people aren't looking to get married. Let's just put it that way.
Right. Dude. But I mean, well, you know what? I mean, I was around that age, but I got very lucky and met my ex-husband like right out of high school. So.
Yeah, and I do think the happiest marriages are those ones. Because trust me, once you get up into my age range and you're still dating, it's a crapshoot, man. Like it most of the times you're running into girls that are not married for a reason, and you find that out very quickly. But every once in a while, one will come into your life that might surprise you. But usually that's because they're getting out of a relationship. See, I'm at the point now where all those girls that were getting like. Wifed up in the 20s and stuff, we're all getting divorced now. So they're getting back on the market.
No, I think I'll stay out of it for a little while longer. At least until I get my mountains and my acreage.
Yeah,
then I'll be fine.
Get all the things you want and then pick up your hunk. Get all the things you want. And I said this to my daughter's like in middle school, and now she's all boy crazy. And I was like, get your career.
The pain.
Yeah,
pain.
Get your career, get that all squared away, and then get your man. Like, don't like rush into being with a guy just because you think that that's where your value is. Create your value for yourself first, and then you'll more likely pull a higher quality partner too.
Yeah, and you're a kid. You shouldn't have to worry about it. Like, and also, I'll fight anybody who tries to badmouth my son. I saw a picture from him at school today. He was in the cafeteria, just eating, really happy. And so, the school has like a little parents or teacher to parent like upload. So they'll send you pictures throughout the day of like what he's doing, and they sent a picture of him at lunch, and they caught a girl at the end of the picture that was just giving him the stink eye, and he's like the youngest one in his class. And so I was like, can you slap that kid for me? Get that look off her face.
I think I think most parents would probably feel similar to how you feel about that, right? Like, you don't want anybody says anything negative about my child too. I'm gonna have some harsh words for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
stink eyes.
Let's continue.
saying, I want to see them videos, goon time, before following up by saying that she actually understands why I'm scared to send them to her. Now we're going to fast forward to October 17th in our text, and Rowan says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I reply, yes, I do sometimes, actually. Rowan responds that she's thinking about that right now, and then says, quote, need that big white cock. It's also kind of strange to me that at the time she referred to them as our videos, but in the present, she's claiming she doesn't even want them to exist. On November 6th, Rowan asked me why I never asked her for nudes. I say I have a bunch of videos already, and that's why. She does not express that she has a problem with me having the videos. She doesn't complain about it. She doesn't say they were taken without her consent. In fact, throughout the entire relationship, she was sending me nude photos of herself unsolicited every single month. Why would you send nude photos of yourself to someone you think could use them against you? Rowan personally posted dozens of screenshots of our texts, and not a single one shows her bringing up any of the videos being non-consensual. Another interesting fact is that during our breakup, she texted me a pros and cons list, which she apparently had written.
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. I'm already... okay. Can I do this one?
So is it okay? So this is what my question is about the pros and cons list. Is it her pros and cons or his pros and cons?
I think it's a pros and cons of the entire relationship.
Okay.
Like, so this is what she views the pros and cons of their relationship as. Pros: he's sweet sometimes. Dates are nice. Tries to make it work. Funny. Pays for meals. Makes me feel secure. Muscles. Cons: chopped in the face and thinks we're matched in looks. Okay.
Yeah.
Calm down. Cheats on ex. Follows his friends around like a dog. Seems depressed all the time. No surprises. Takes hours to respond. So dry and vague. Rarely compliments me. Doesn't leave his house. Online all the time. No hobbies other than gym or video games. Get a life, bitch.
Yeah.
Talks about other women lustfully in front of me. I have, on this point in particular, you need to understand that just as you can be attracted to other males, it doesn't mean you want to boink them. He can also appreciate other women being attractive, you know?
Anyways. I've actually like when I started dating my recent girlfriend, I literally said like, "What's your opinion on me pointing out hot chicks to you?" And she was like, "I'm fine with it," because like I do that. Like I want to do that with my partner. I want to be like, "Oh my god, look at the booty on that one." Like, you know, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go over and try to get her number. It's just I want to. You know, I like to talk, like guys like talking about that stuff, you know, and some girls are very like insecure about it and some girls are totally fine with it. Luckily she said that she was fine with it. How long that lasts, who knows? But, you know, cause I've had girls say that before, then instantly, no, that's not, it doesn't stay that way. But,
the combatant point is, well, would you look at Henry Cavill and be like, oh man, what a hunk, right? So
I would.
It just,
I point out hot guys too. It doesn't mean, and I'm not gay. So, despite what Carla tells the chat nonstop,
I think Carla means you're a spiritual bottom.
Yeah, I'm a bottom for the girls, maybe. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Oh yeah. No. You're a pillow princess.
Yeah, I'm a pillow. That's right. I'm a pillow princess. I heard EG's girlfriend gets jealous of his bottoming. See. It's just nonstop. It's just nonstop.
Follows IG models, OF girls, even when I asked him to stop. No romance. Doesn't seem to want to support me at all in the future. That's a lot to ask. You guys are young. Seems like he still feels some type of way towards his ex. He might. Every time I bring up a valid concern, he says, I'm nice to you, even though you stop. So I'm nice to you, though, so stop complaining.
Wait, can we go back to the one that says doesn't seem to want to support me at all in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Because he can? Like, that's not... Most men want an equal opportunity partner. Like, no guy wants...
What are you bringing to the table, honey, other than your looks that will fade in time?
He's not I mean, he's probably doing really well for himself, but unless he's Jeffrey Bezos... Or like somebody who's just like made millions and millions of dollars, which I don't think. I think Tom's probably a millionaire, but I don't think he makes millions and millions. He probably makes like at least, you know, close to $1 million a year doing YouTube. But I don't, you know, because most men want someone who isn't just a trophy wife, believe it or not.
Yep. You got to bring something to the table. And even Jeffrey, even Bezos. I bet you he's got standards too.
Yeah.
So, it's that you don't need to be supported. That's actually something that your husband does for you because he loves you so much, because he wants that for you, not because you asked for it. Anyways, let me stop getting personal about this because I'm starting to hate her more and more. Every time I bring up a valid concern, we already said that one.
Yeah.
Sent dick pics to a Belle Delphine copycat before.
As one does.
Sex is all. I mean, if it's a Belle Delphine copycat.
Yeah. What the hell?
Sex is all about him. Ran through. Get out of here. What's your body count, sweetheart? Looks up to Sam Hyde, unironically. So do I. Says he likes to hurt me during sex, even when I bleed. That's a kink for some people.
And you'll see, remember that one, okay? Remember that one specifically.
Yeah. Sometimes kind of self-obsessed. Doesn't ever talk about us, just him. I mean, he's a YouTuber. He's kind of going to be a little self-centered.
We are self-centered. It's the only... You think that I don't have confidence, me sitting here and knowing that and being like, I'm going to entertain people for a couple hours. Like, that takes a sort of... confidence, like a very self-centeredness to be like, who, I'm gonna sit on a microphone and people are gonna want to listen. Like, there has to be a bit of self-centeredness that is revolved around that.
Not to bring Markiplier into the sex talk, but I'm going to bring him into the sex talk. This man made a movie about a Let's Play he did because he liked it so much. Took his shirt off, found a way to take his shirt off during the movie. The entire movie centers around him and his character. Everybody else is just a side character and has way less screen time. Wrote, produced, and edited the project and invested his own money into it. So it was all his. It's kind of like part of the you and YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube, the me. It should be called MeTube. Like, because it's about me, right? Although I will say, as a YouTuber, I do, like, it's not about me, like, anymore. Like, when I don't stream, I feel like I'm letting y'all down. Like, some days I just can't do it. And other days, because I'm a dad, too, and I work full-time. Like, this isn't all I do. If all I did was this, I'd stream 7 days a week, and then all my other time would be spent editing. But I work a full-time job, and, so I'm a human being. Sometimes I just get worn down. But I never go, oh, they're just going to have to survive without me. And that's not the way I kind of view this. Usually I typically think of it as like, oh, no, I'm failing them. You know what I mean? Like, so there is a bit of humility, at least in my end. But I'm sure that there's other YouTubers that feel something similar to that. Like, if you don't show up for the people that count on you, to entertain them or the people like watching, there is a bit of selflessness in it. Not much, but
yeah,
but a little.
And I highly doubt that this lady doesn't have I don't think she's humble at all, because the very first thing on her cons list is chopped in the face and thinks we're matched in looks.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's millions of girls out there that would probably disagree with you, because Turkey Tom is like, girls are obsessed with this fucking guy, like obsessed with him.
Yeah, but he's so self-centered and all about him.
He probably is, though. That's the thing. He probably is, but he admits it.
So doesn't seem to really care about my goals at all. Everything is all about him. I do the bare minimum. Therefore, you're not allowed to feel upset. You guys are just dating. Your boyfriend and girlfriend. You're not. This isn't. How long does he say how long they dated for?
They dated for 6 months.
6.
Yeah.
Not even a full year, buddy.
Yeah. This is stuff you say after like 2 years of being with someone. Where marriage is on the table. This is just
where Tom's... you guys are kind of looking at, or do we want to keep this going and get more serious, or do we kind of just want to maybe end it and enjoy the time we had?
Well, you'll find out later that she knew who Tom was, but pretended like she didn't, and Tom brings this up. But I'm just going to point this out now since we're talking about this, but I think that she had already created this relationship in her mind with him before they even started dating. So for her, this was years of a relationship, when for Tom it was just, whoa, we just start dating, Yeah,
and I think that makes sense why I can't remember who said it. There was somebody that was talking about like, would I ever date one of my subscribers? And they were like, no, absolutely not. Hell no. Like, no, there's just no way. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, I kind of get it.
I don't, yeah, and I don't want to do it either because I feel like, one, it gets messy, and two, like, I prefer the friendships that I create with people instead. And if it gets to that point where there's physical interaction, like if me and you were dating, Phallic, and like we had like a huge fight, there's no way we could ever go on a stream. You know what I mean? Like, so like there's just part of you that's like, it's just best for business to keep pleasure and business separate. You know what I mean?
100%.
All right, let's
completely agree.
Let's keep going.
About me.
That was the whole list.
Yes, that was the whole list.
And in the cons section, she complains about a lot of things, but she doesn't mention non-consensual videos whatsoever. With that out of the way, we can move on to Rowan's claim that I was sexually abusive towards her. In that same pros and cons list, Rowan wrote, says he likes hurting me during sex and making me bleed. This also reflects her public claims about me, but the great irony is that I never even said this. She did. On September 14th, 2025, Rowan sent me a text saying, quote, I'm such a freak. I like when it hurts and bleeds after. Something Wong. And one of her public-facing posts...
the baby talk is it's gonna send me over the edge, dude.
Yeah, and did you hear, and what was one of the cons?
Even if I bleed, he enjoys it during sex or something like that.
Yeah. I think she started a relationship with him so she could do this to him later. It seems to me like she wanted to use this against him. I think at first it was like a parasocial relationship that turned into a real relationship. But for her, she had known him way longer than he had known her. So therefore, she felt like she had known him way longer. And like, this is like, it's like me getting a chance to date Sydney Sweeney, right? Like, Sydney Sweeney has no idea who I am. But if I started dating her, I'd be like,
shit, dude.
yeah, first off, never going to happen. But, I would be like, oh my God, we're gonna have babies and we're gonna do all this, you know, but for Sydney, it'd be like, whoa, bro, I just met you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I've known you for years. You know, this is how stalkers become a thing. The stalkers create these parasocial relationships in their mind where they're actually dating these people online. And this just happened to be one that turned into a real relationship. So by her account, she had already known Tom for years. It's like he's always been there. But for Tom, this was very new to her, you know, very new to him. And
yeah, maybe she lied to him about like, oh, I'm not really like on YouTube that much. And
we just saw her say that in Kiwi Farms post, right? I don't know how this stuff works. She knew exactly where to go, and you'll see that why I'm saying all this
about me. She posts an interaction which reads as follows. She says, quote, like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day or do it so hard I hurt and bleed. And I said, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't gotta. We can do other things. And she says, okay, I like doing other things too. The way this screenshot is cropped, it comes across like I'm some, like, just like super callous freak who's brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve Mining Diamonds. But in the full uncropped screenshot, her immediate response to me after that is, I'm a freak. I say this, and as soon as I see you, I'm going to be freaky again. I can't resist.
And that's that parasocial relationship right there.
Interview, she elaborates on this even more, specifically claiming that she would bleed almost every time we had sex.
Okay, and you would bleed
yes.
Same? And you didn't stop?
Yeah, I would bleed almost every time.
This is just blatant.
Look at her like, oh, I would bleed every time. And then in the text, I like when I bleed. Like, this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is so fucked up on so many levels that a girl could think that this is the right approach to get even with someone who just simply didn't want to date her anymore.
Legitimately, it feels sort of wrong hearing it because it's clearly very intimate and like, you know, it should just be kept within their relationships. And hearing her on like the Kiwi Farms podcast live stream thing, just being like, yeah, I would just bleed every time. Like, honey, then go to the police. I don't know what you want Kiwi Farms to do about this.
She doesn't. She wants to ruin his career. She doesn't want the law involved. She just wants to hurt him.
She doesn't want an investigation.
She knows that what hurt him the most is taking away what he's worked for.
Yeah, and she wasn't even able to do that successfully. So congratulations.
Yeah, now she's.
I do not like her. She's an unreliable narrator.
This is why believe all women will never happen. This is why you cannot believe all women. I said it during the pierogi video. I'm saying it again now. This is why you can't believe all women, because of girls like her. And, it sucks because most guys want to believe when a girl comes to you and says that I've been hurt. You want to believe them. But then there's girls like this out there that ruin it for so many other girls that are actual victims of this shit. It's disgusting. In fact,
well, I mean, also the whole way that believe all women came about, and I'm not trying to change your mind on this or anything, but the way it came about is women would go through the proper channels. They would go to the police. They would try to get rape kits done, and they would just get turned away. Or they would say, there's nothing here right now. Call us back when something happens. And that's because their hands are tied by the law. They need physical evidence that a domestic occurred or something like that.
Well, then we need to fix the slogans then. Because when you say to me, believe all women, that says to me, like, if a girl comes to you with any allegation at all, believe her. And that you can't do that, unfortunately, because of girls like this.
Because of false accusations. But I do feel like women who make false accusations should get the time that the man would have served.
I agree 100%. There should be repercussions because this is getting out of control. Yeah. It really is.
They should be punished for making a false accusation that could possibly destroy somebody's career, their families, their life. They should, or even give them jail time. They should face the repercussions that would have happened to the male. That's my opinion.
My slogan is not believe all bottoms. All right. I don't know what Dog Pack is telling you, but he's wrong. Okay. Stop listening to Dog Pack.
Untrue as well, and it's easy to see by going through our text messages. On August 17th of 2025, the day after my birthday, Rowan and I were planning to go to Mass, and she wanted to have sex with me. So she texted me saying, Tom, I started my period. I was driving, so I couldn't say much, but I replied.
He goes to church. We were planning on going to Mass, and she's like, I want you to rail me after Mass. Boy, is that priest going to have some serious confessions coming his way.
Yeah, it gives a new definition to take me to church.
Yeah, for real.
By saying, that sucks, I'm 40 minutes away. She follows up by asking me if I mind getting my sword bloody, and I say I'll be okay. So if it wasn't already clear, she's asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is months into us going out and being sexually active, and she's still worried that the idea of bleeding during sex would gross me out. Now, as soon as she began posting about me, people were naturally perplexed by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem, and she says, I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before, it was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked it, but I bled after almost every single time. I feel like most of this statement has already been dispelled, but even the smallest detail of no medical condition that I know of is also false. On September 24th of 2025, Rowan texted me.
I will say this, like if she had like an implant or whatever in inside and it got like dislodged, there could be like an IUD or something. There could be some bleeding from that or some chafing if she wasn't properly prepared. But given that it was the third time, like, I don't know, she might have had some light spotting, but nothing that was like a period level.
I think there's only been a handful of times, I think, where my partner told me afterwards that they were bleeding a little bit. And that was usually because, like, we were going for, like, an hour or two. You know what I mean? Like, it was a long time. It wasn't, like, 10-minute, quickie or nothing. It typically would happen if we were, engaging for a long period of time. I do not ignore the YouTube chat. Like with the story I was saying, what she said is terrible if true. Yeah, it is terrible if it was true, and but it's not true. So that's the only reason I didn't read it, Blue Jay. I'm reading it. I just, sometimes me
and I'm watching on Discord right now, so I can't see the chats go by.
Well, I read every single thing that somebody writes, and sometimes I include it in the back and forth, and sometimes I don't. It's just all a matter of like whether or not I think it fits into kind of like what we're like what me and Phallic are talking about at that exact time.
From her
I do fit it in now. I do fit it in. I do try to fit it in.
Birth control.
That's what she
next
said.
one on to the pill because she has month-long periods that cause her to bleed. So regardless of sex, Rowan admittedly bleeds for an entire month at a time. One of Rowan's main criticisms is that I'm too rough. In fact, she describes our sexual interactions as intense, violent aggression every single time.
I genuinely did think that he would maybe change and stop being so aggressive, because he told me before that he would like kind of chill out, but he never did chill out, and it kept being the same very intense, violent aggression every single time.
She also alleges that I hit, choked, and beat her without asking, essentially painting me as an abusive partner.
Unfortunately, I did still stay with him, and I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions about that, and honestly, you were completely correct to question my judgment as to why I stayed with him, even though he was, hitting and choking and beating me.
There's this idea she's trying to paint that in the relationship.
Did you see some of the?
Hang on, wait 1 second, and then I'll let you finish. I just want everyone to hear this part because I think this is what Tom says here is really smart.
I was constantly pushing this rough, violative sex onto her, and even though she didn't like it and was being abused, she stayed with me. I've seen some people question her saying things like, well, if you hated it, why didn't you just leave? But realistically, sometimes people do stay with abusive partners, and I don't want to invalidate their stories through my response. The real reason that she didn't leave is because she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies.
So I like that he even stuck up for her a little bit and being like, why did she stay if he was abusive? And then he was smart enough to realize that it's very well documented that women stay in abusive relationships. And he didn't want to he could have easily took why would you stay with me if it was abuse, take the Chad way out, but he didn't. He was actually pretty thoughtful and being like, yeah, there's a lot of girls that stay in abusive relationships, but this one wasn't abusive. She just enjoyed what we were doing. It was a very logical take. And yes, I did see the Kiwi Farms chat. A lot of people were like getting on her case about what she was saying. What did you have to add to that?
Oh, I just saw somebody being like, he's gonna elevate to a murder rapist.
And that's how these things start. Yeah, and that's exactly how these things start. It starts with Tom's aggressive during sex, and then it turns into Tom's, age play, and Tom's a PDF. It's just one thing levels to the next that levels to the next. This woman really needs to see a doctor. She needs to see a psychiatrist, Rajira.
And I mean, there would be one thing if she was this confident about her freakhood, like she's in these text messages, do you remember Belle Delphine did a shoot where she was bound and gagged and kidnapped and then consensually molested in the woods, and the internet, they didn't hate on the guy doing it at all. They were like, wow, why would you do that? What kind of woman would want this? And she was like, can you guys just get off my case? I thought it was a hot shoot.
Well, yeah, and then and you're exactly, Blue Jay. It snowballs. It snowballs into this big fucking it's like the fish story. Every time you tell someone you caught a fish, it gets a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. But she knows what her audience fantasizes about, and I'm pretty sure she knows that there's a large majority of her audience, especially some of the creepier older guys, that would fantasize of kidnapping her and take. And, she's not stupid. It's just like Sydney Sweeney.
She made a sex doll, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney knows that sex sells. That's why she just put out this whole her new lingerie line that she did called, I guess, Siren or something it's called. And she's using herself to sell them. So not only is she getting publicity from the sexy pictures she's taking in it, but when she knows that people's husbands are gonna look at her in it, and then they're gonna go buy that for their wife, so that they can fantasize that it was Sydney Sweeney wearing it. You know what I mean? And it's just some people are just better at knowing what marketing is. But yeah, I agree. It's not fair. It's easy to hate on Bella Delphine because she's the one raking in the money, you know? Funny that you talk about the woods, Phallic. It comes up here too.
Here, okay. She expresses that she is a real freak and says that she wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded. So maybe there's something wrong with me. I respond by saying that we should not have sex in the woods. And she says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, God. I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark
That's what
room.
Blue Jay said.
That's why I like you. I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person. And she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. In fact, anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow, I guess sensual intercourse with Rowan in the bedroom, she actually had a problem with that. I remember one specific instance where I was being more slow and sensual, and I remember her whispering in my ear saying, I want you to pound me. And that's probably why on June 5th, 2025, she texted me saying, I need to get face fucked for an hour. And I replied by saying, damn, exams suck. On June 7th, she texted me and says...
You could see that Tom's incredibly uncomfortable in a lot of these texts, because I've been there myself. Like... where like somebody will say something just like outrageously aggressive. I won't say who it was, but I had a girlfriend that would like message me almost every morning something incredibly sexual. And I was just in a meeting with like big burly guys that all smelled like gasoline. So I wasn't exactly in the mood. So a lot of times I would have similar responses to Tom here, where I'd be like, yeah, I don't know, man. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in the mood to start having like a phone, sex with my partner as I'm sitting in a room full of big burly men. You know, it's just one of those things. And I can tell because this is exactly, I would try and change the subject. It doesn't seem like Tom is like a hype. Like, don't get me wrong. Tom's probably banging a lot of girls. Let's just be realistic about that. But I think when he enters a relationship, he's entering a relationship hoping that that's not what the relationship revolves around. Because if Tom wants to get laid, Turkey Tom's going to be able to get laid. You could tell he's uncomfortable in this video, not just in the text messages. Yeah, I
agree.
Just the fact that he had to stop and say, I preferred to have like intimate sex with her and I wasn't even allowed to have that. And I believe him. Because, again, this guy is very aware of his the way that he's perceived online, and especially by a lot of women.
Clearly, especially if he's keeping all of these like screenshots.
Yeah,
he's worried about it.
If he didn't want to be in a relationship and he just wanted to sling D nonstop, he could probably do that. But I'm sure there's a part of him, especially if he's like still going to church and stuff, which is not something many people do. Then the goal is to find the wife, not to just, sling dick.
I'm excited to get fucked borderline domestic violently.
Oh,
at one
Jesus.
point in the interview, she states that one time I was angry at my ex-girlfriend, and that the next time we had sex, I was particularly aggressive. This is a very strange thing to accuse me of, given that on October 13th, Rowan says verbatim, sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me. She clarifies, saying, I do like that though, even without the fighting. So at every opportunity, this girl...
Notice that she said something wrong again. Like the baby talk.
I don't like it.
But Tom's the one who was doing age play.
Right. Well, we haven't even gotten to that part yet. Let's get there so then I can fully unleash my rage.
All right.
Was publicly saying, oh my God, look at all this horrible shit he did to me. And then she's texting me that she wants me to kidnap her, tie her up, and pound her in the woods. And if anyone is putting up any resistance to that, it's me. She once again lies about weird little things in the interview. Like she says that I was her second boyfriend.
He was my second boyfriend.
And when I heard this, I was very confused because she told me that I was her third. In my opinion, she said this to make herself seem less sexually experienced than she really is, to make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this next post...
Which a lot of girls do because, society still, regardless whether it's right or wrong, society still has this visual that a girl who has slept with many men is not as valuable as a girl who hasn't. So it's not a shock to me that many girls paint themselves as like these virgin type, inexperienced women. But trust me, that's going to be exposed the second you go to bed with someone, because I could tell you right away whether or not this girl is exposed or is experienced or not, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is it's like, sure, body count matters to some extent, whether you've been with one guy or many, but like in my instance, I had a very healthy intercourse life with my ex-husband, so I'm more experienced, but with only one person.
Yeah,
I've been around the block a few times,
but I mean, like, it shows in how people who've been with like very small amount of people are they're not like super outgoing when they're with a new person, because they're not used to that. But if she's like freaky deaky day one with this new person, chances are it's because she's comfortable with different people.
True.
But like if you're with a girl that has been with like one guy for a very long time, it's very new to them, and it's very evident in how they approach you.
She writes, again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super gooner. Sort of normalize it in my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that. So for
Daniel's crew. Well, would you look at that? Someone's guilty of being
We're having adult talk tonight, Daniel's crew.
Oh, it's right up your alley, Daniel's crew.
At the Daniel's crew super chatted $10. Maybe I have no clue what we're chatting about.
If we go back to the pros and cons list, Daniel's crew would lose her lid.
Oh, for sure. Daniel's crew's gonna hate this woman. Also, Sarah's missing out too. She's one of the sexy talk people too in the chat. But thank you so much, Daniel's crew. Always making a splash. Love it. Love it. But yeah, this is very sexy adult talk, because we're talking about a guy that is being accused of things, and he has to back himself up by talking about what the sex life was actually like, and he's very graphic about. But he has to be, because of the accusations against him.
Well, because her accusations were very graphic and misleading and disingenuous.
I know. I look at him now. You can tell he's struggling. Look at his face.
I know. Somebody give this boy a cookie.
Yeah, he needs. Looks like he just smoked like 7 joints. He needs some milk.
information on how I supposedly normalized this behavior, let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see what our conversations about sex were like. On Wednesday, May 14th, after only hanging out with Rowan once, she texted me saying she's excited to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect, we did have intercourse on our second date, and after this first sexual encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, "Rape thing is so hot. I never did that before. You should tie me up next time." My response to this is, consensual sex is good. And she says, "You know what I meant by that. I don't know what to call it." So from the very first interaction we had...
That's because I think that she's had these fantasies about Tom. You know? And then you'll understand more when he talks about her lying about knowing who he was, but that's like me having foresight in what's coming. But yeah, it's definitely because she's known Tom.
She calls our sex rape for some reason, saying how hot it is, to which I clarify that it was consensual, and she says, "I know what you mean." And for the record, I never indulged in her fantasy to be tied up, just not something I was interested in any way. And we also never did anything.
It's also
in the
called
woods,
consensual non-con.
Yeah, and no shame if you are someone who likes to be tied up. I mean, that's
to each their own.
Yeah, to each their own.
About that. To hammer this point home, let's go over some more texts where Rowan talks about sex. On Friday, May 16th, she texts me asking when I'm free and says that she needs my, quote, "big dick." And I say, "Don't say ah." And she says, "It is, and I need it." On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being with someone with as big of a dick as mine. She says that it hurt her, but she wants to do it again, and she won't be a pussy about it. Some of her public claims about me are more desperate and weird than others. Like she complains that I didn't eat her out.
Like, he never once ate me out, but he would demand that I would constantly suck his dick. And, like, Yeah.
But here is a text message of me directly telling her, look, I'm a selfish lover. And she says, it's okay. I like sucking dick more than getting eaten out. I'm a real freak. Despite her
big, and then he wrote big win, not gonna lie. Listen. All right, guys, get your shit together. That's all I'm gonna say. Get your shit together, boys. All right.
Yeah, I've met a lot of guys that like have like, I just don't like eating girls out. I don't like to do it, and I'm like, I guess I can understand that because I've met a lot of girls that like I'm not gonna say her name, but I had a friend I used to work with, and you know when you're talking about your boyfriends or whatever, and going back and forth, and she's like, you do that? And I was like, yeah, yeah. And she's like, that's where the pee comes from. And she was a full-grown adult in her mid-20s at this point.
God.
She was just so against it. And I sent a silent prayer up to her boyfriend. I'm so sorry.
I don't think I could date someone who doesn't do that for me. But with that said, I like, taking care of my partner. I'm a big fan. I
Me too. I'm very pro oral. Sometimes, like, I would just feel like I would rather just give you a BJ than go through the whole rigmarole. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, I get that too, and I definitely think a lot of girls are like, all right, just let's go. I got something to do. I don't feel like going and getting cleaned up for you, so we can, But I don't know. I don't know. I just find it strange when men don't, they expect more, but then they don't want to, help. I don't know. We're going to make a zig here when we should be making a zag, but I will literally say that's absolutely not in, I will say that's absolutely not into that. Ours, the one things I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody likes different things. I mean, I don't know. I think it's the younger men who have a problem with doing that.
Yeah, some girls totally don't like doing it, Daniel Screw. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's for me, like, that would be a deal breaker, but like, that's why I don't date someone who wouldn't want to do that. You know what I mean? But some people are totally fine with that. And some people just want missionary 24/7 and they're happy with that. Not me. I need a good bottom.
Her acting like I am a like sexual degenerate, repeatedly doing sex acts she doesn't enjoy. Here she is saying, you match my freak, kind of. Not you're too freaky or we've been too freaky. She says that I match her freak. Here in this next one, she says, I'm getting on my knees as soon as I see you, by the way, freak mode. In this next one, I give a little bit of input. I tell her I'm thinking about
okay, she
her
constantly
pussy.
brings up, like, this is still bothering me. She's constantly bringing up being like a freak and like, oh, I'm so super hypersexual. How do you expect him to have any real respect for you if that's all you can talk about?
Because I think that's
it really does seem like that's all you can talk about.
A couple of reasons. I think one, because again, she's fetishized this guy for being a fan of him for a long time. And two, I think that she really believes that this is what men want. Now, Tom here, I applaud him for adding this thing in because at the top it starts off with him saying, was thinking about thinking about the pussy just now. Are you still sick? That's basically him admitting that sometimes guys, yes, even if they're not into like sex talk all the time, sometimes the mood hits and you want to talk dirty like that. It's not 24/7. It seems like this girl is like hypersexual,
And she responds to me saying, you gonna tear it up or what? Now, my question for you in the audience would be, do people who are into slow, romantic, candlelit sex describe intercourse as their pussy getting torn up? I would say probably not.
No,
here in this next
not.
one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind, I don't want to reveal.
God, I'm gonna skip that communion and I'm coming to have some type of. And you're gonna give me your own blessings.
You're gonna give me your own grape juice.
Forget the body of Christ. I'm coming for the body of Tom.
That's how Coulter started.
Yeah, that might be. That's why the communion's white. It's a Catholic joke. It's good to understand a person's boundaries and not try to break those boundaries instead of just leave. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, again, it just seems like this girl's just. It's just evident to me that she was way more into Tom than Tom was into her, and I think that she didn't even like Tom for like, and I think that's what was kind of hurting him, is that he knew like she didn't like Tom for Tom, and we'll be able to talk more about this too when we get into her line about him being a YouTuber, but it was important for him to know that the girl liked Tom because he's Tom and not because Tom's YouTuber Turkey Tom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. And I don't want to I mean, like I said, this girl is young. I don't want to rag on her too hard, but the way she's not conducting herself like a lady, and you don't have to be a prim and proper miss, but you kind of get what you invite, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, I don't think Tom wants a relationship with someone who's a fan. I think he wants a relationship with someone who likes him and not trying to just date a popular YouTuber, because you're getting all the worst types of people. All the worst type of people that either want you for your money or they want to meet some other YouTubers. Or they think this is their ticket to an easy life. You know what you end up in? An Anissa iDub situation. It's exactly what you end up in if you date a fan who's...
Yes. And then she'll ruin your life.
Yep.
Hold on. I have a random question from Bose's Discord. Lux says, also, stupid question I've been holding in like a fart. What's the opposite of a phallic weapon?
A magical pocket, I guess.
A
black hole.
Yeah, I like a black hole.
Yeah, I like a black hole, yeah.
Okay, I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be here right now. And I would never intend on sexually shaming an ex-partner. But she's gone out of her way to not only shame me, but also to lie in an effort to paint me as some gooner, freak, borderline rapist. So let's keep going. Here, Rowan makes a post saying that I am a Patrick Bateman gooner because I flexed in the mirror after we had sex. But the strange part about this is that I have a text of her saying, quote, I keep thinking about how hot it was watching myself take your big dick in the mirror. Gooner as fuck, sorry. Reading through what she says about me publicly, it's like every accusation she makes towards me is actually some kind of confession to her own behavior. On June 25th, she texts me wondering if she can give me head after getting her wisdom teeth taken out. She obviously wouldn't be able to do that because...
Ow, no. First off.
No.
That could not have...
At one, ask your doctor.
Yeah.
And two, you're going to be in the worst pain or medication-resistant pain of your life.
I mean, maybe she would be into it, though.
She's dry socket. You're saying she's going to be into dry socket?
No, I, you know, it seems like this girl's like addicted to sex, is what I'm getting. So, you know,
sure, I guess.
But when I got my wisdom teeth out, no, ain't no way. I could not.
They don't even want you smoking or vaping because it's too much suction.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
No straws, nothing.
Yep.
Because it causes your face to swell up like a blimp. And she responds with, no, I got to do it as much as possible before. Here, Rowan's asking me, am I the tightest, most perfect girl you ever fucked? On July 2nd, she says, I miss that big dick so much, I'm under spells. On July 5th, I bring up us wearing condoms, and Rowan says, ew, no, and then tells me that she wants me to cream pie her, and that she's a real freak. After I say happy birthday, sweetie, for her 21st, she says that all she wants for her birthday is my big, white in this next one, she texts me saying,
please, man.
Again, this is why I think it's just a fetish that she's had for this guy for a long time.
I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. And this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd,
Daddy
she
issues
says,
right there.
I come over and suck on it Friday night, which I don't accept. I tell her that
that's
I'm
going to come in with the age plate for
I have
sure.
The big white cock addiction. Interestingly enough, in this next one, she's asking me if I can have sex with her while holding her in the air, essentially, and tells me that I should try to do it. Once again, a pretty bizarre thing to ask someone to do who allegedly has been abusing you for 3 months by now with overly rough sex. On July 21st, she starts off by texting me, I hate gooner men, and then not even 1 minute later, she says, I need that big white cock. On August 23rd, she said...
So she doesn't like when guys... Basically what you were saying right there is, I don't like when guys hit on me, but I like hitting on guys. That's the gist of that comment.
says, whenever I wake up without my morning Tom facefuck, I am sad. On September 2nd, she expresses that she wished she lived closer to me, but if she did, it would be an issue because she would want to come suck my dick all the time. On September 17th, she sends me an Instagram reel of someone praying the rosary. I don't respond, and she follows up by saying, I miss that dick so much.
I'm going to send you some prayers, and then I'm going to follow it up with some sex talk.
Here in this next photo, she sends me a picture of her in lingerie with the caption, when it's rape time.
Do you think that's confusing for Tom? Because if he is religious and goes to mass and then like having to like get, like they're often, oops, hold on.
Yeah.
They're oftentimes like talking about going to mass and then she's like, oh, well, maybe I can do this for you beforehand or, you know, or right after. And it's like, I think that's like kind of conflicting messages because maybe that's not the mindset he wants to be in if he's thinking about prayer or going to mass.
Well, don't get it twisted, all right? Christian women are some of the kinkiest women you will ever meet in your life. I can confirm that.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, I think that he figures a church-going girl would be more likely to be wife material than, you know, say, like your typical e-girl that may, like, just be showing her boobies on the internet every day, you know? And I think he wants that. He wants wholesome. Seemed like Tom has a good relationship with his family, and he was probably raised like religious. And you know, and while he doesn't practice everything that you know the church tells him he should, he, you know, at the end of the day, the core values are probably still there. She's reaching out like this for attention, in my opinion. I agree. I think, yeah, when I think that again, she feels like her best value to him is her body. And I don't think Tom values that as much as he values intelligence to go along with the body. Now, obviously, sometimes Tom's probably, you know, he's a young guy. He's probably going to get in the mood and he's going to, you know, and he's going to interact with that. But, you know, it's not nonstop. There's got to be more than just that talk, you know? And it seems like she definitely is the one. And I think the only reason Tom's going through all this is just to show that she's the one who constantly brings up sex. She's the one that, like, I'm pretty sure that if we went through all the texts, it's not nonstop sex talk. But I think the reason it comes off this way is because he's trying to show who the person is that is constantly bringing up the sex. Let's a la Hina, right? Who mostly brought up sex in those conversations? 9 times out of 10, it was Hina, right? So, and then turns around and says the pierogi's a predator. So that's why I do see similarities between the two cases.
She said that all I did was respond with a photo of the movie Just Friends. On Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 a.m., Rowan says, I hope you come. I got something special for our rape times. I say, change that to consensual sexual encounters, and she says, I know. She expands on this particular message and says, are you mad at me? I know it's consensual. So even as we're approaching over 4 months of being together, she's still telling me that our sex is consensual and that she likes it. Now that I've gone through a lot of our messages...
Now, don't get me wrong. I do think part of the way Tom texts is publicity, like PR. He knows that he can't, like, really just let his hair down and talk however he wants to this girl, because he knows that if this goes south, that she could use these against him. So I do believe Tom's smart enough to be on his best behavior through these messages. But part of me also believes that this is kind of more like how Tom really is, you know? I don't think that he's really into the grape culture.
I think it's pertinent that we get into the month of October. This is the month that Rowan has publicly claimed that there was one specific incident that occurred during which she asked me to stop having sex with her, and I did not. To be perfectly clear, this never happened. But just to have some fun, we can go through our texts day by day in this month to see which day this horrific incident could have possibly occurred. On October 2nd, she texted me saying, you are perfect. On October 3rd and 4th, we hung out. She asked me if I was home okay.
Did she call him Huz, like hubby?
Yeah, she called him Huz. That's like what the kids call now for like their boyfriend, the huzz.
I'm way too freaking old, man.
Yeah. The only reason I know about it is because my daughter freaking uses that language when she's talking about the guy she likes, the huzz. I'm like, stop saying that. You're 11.
I would watch her mouth. That was so. You're a baby. Stop it.
I do, dude. But I mean, I remember middle school. That's when boys and girls all start getting really interested in each other.
I know.
Blue Jay says. Blue Jay says people in the community who are on the fence about the situation keep telling her to leak the DMs, and the fact that she didn't and showed it instead is a red flag. Yeah, he showed them instead is a red flag. I think Hina was absolutely the predator, Maya. Again, yeah, somebody who's showing, like Tom's showing way more text than she is. That instantly makes me feel way more confident in whatever Tom's saying than whatever she's saying.
I'm her formal date in her heart. She then says that she hates when anyone comments on her body, even in a positive way, and I tell her that she should eat slop and go for a walk and not worry about it, and that she is beautiful. On October 8th, she continues being sexual, complimenting my arm. She then resends me a meme that says, "Me if I do not have violent sex very soon." On October 8th, she also says, "I miss my handsome husband." Here, I tell her I landed in Texas. She says, "I miss sucking on it." She then texts me saying, "You got to start putting rape time in your reminders." On October 9th, she says that she wants to hang out. I say I arrived. On October 10th, she says, "Let me know when you get back safe. I always have such a fun time with you." On October 14th, she says she wishes she was waking up to me in the morning, and she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was partying and going out, and now she spends time with me. On October 15th, she says, "I started my period. I wish I could come suck on it." And that evening, she says, "I would..."
Just the way he delivers these lines, he's doing his Turkey Tom thing where he's like, he's like a documentarian voiceover guy, but he's talking about his own sexual life. Yeah, it's about. It's just.
I think he's detaching. He's detaching from the moment.
Yeah, he can't turn off the voice, but he's also like, I have to do this. I have to
kill myself if I had to talk to any other man but you. I say, "That's true, I'm a nice guy," and she says, "Yeah, I'm the bad guy." On October 17th, we've already read this, but this is once again where she says, "Do you ever go back and watch our videos?" And I say, "Yeah, I do sometimes actually." And she responds to me that she's thinking about that right now and says, quote, "Need that big white cock. In the mirror, you deadass look like the Hulk compared to me." Now, one thing to note here is that at no point does she express that the videos were taken without her consent. Once again, I just want to have that hammered down here. On October 19th, she texts me saying she needs my milk right now. She then says I miss my perfect jacked boyfriend, and that night she sends me nudes.
I just realized this is Turkey Tom. Yep, this is Turkey Tom.
At 10 p.m., she sends me a photo of a guy with a clock in his hand and says, "I need that dick." On October 21st, I sent her a bicep photo. She responds saying, "You look good, Tom. I can't wait to suck your dick." She says, "I love you. You're a great boyfriend." She then says, "You never officially asked me to be your girlfriend," to which I say that we did. On October 23rd, there's proof we hung out that day. She then says, "Text me when you get home safe," and I say, "I made it." She also texted me saying, "I love when my bed smells like your musk." On October 24th, she says, "Good night. You're the best boyfriend ever." October 25th, she sends me a photo of herself in a deer outfit and says, "Meow, I miss..."
Look, he's even being nice enough to block her face out. Like, he's not trying to bring any more heat on her than he already knows she's going to get. And that just, it could have been so easy for him just to let her face be all over the internet and let everybody go after her. But he's still protecting her, even after all this. I has returned from the wander visiting some debunker friends. What I miss? Some sexy talk, sweet. That's basically it. Some sexy talk.
Tom's big white dick. That night, she says, "I'm going to send you ass pics tomorrow." On October 26th, we've read this one before, but here she says, "Next time during our epic rape time, you can tie me up."
Can we just talk about how weird it is that she keeps referring to any sexual encounter as that?
Well, because it's weird because it would be different like if he was okay with it, but he's made it every single time she's brought it up. He's been like, "Can we not call it that? Can we not call it that?"
Yeah.
And she keeps on insisting, and she's like, "You know what I mean." Well, yeah, but he knows what you mean, but he's still asking you to kind of respect his boundary of not calling it that because it might make him feel a little weird.
And it's every single time. Yeah, every single time she said it, the next text from him is, "Can you not say that?" Like consensual, like...
See? Because he says it he said that the other last time she brought it up.
Yeah.
So...
every single time that she's used that word, he's corrected her.
I say, "You mean consensual sex?"
Oh, yeah, she's a walking red flag, Blue Jay.
And she follows it up by saying, "You know what I mean, Tom, rough sex." Once again, these are really weird messages to be sending to someone that you now claim is sexually abusing you on a weekly basis.
It's about as weird as it gets.
That evening, the evening of October 26th, we can see that I hang out at Rowan's house and I sleep over. Then there's a text that shows that I'm leaving and mentioned that I took my friend to the hospital. On October 27th...
that was Brandon Buckingham.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was Brandon Buckingham because he mentioned in his video or his update video that Tom was the one who actually took him to the hospital.
Yep.
Because his wife was out of town.
That's another thing we're gonna have to take a look at.
Yeah, the overall general summary of it is he is in recovery. His heart is still technically in failure, but he's getting better.
He's getting better, which is what we love to see.
Doing well. She loves me so much. On October 30th, she says that we'll be married in 2 years. October 31st at 12:30 in the morning, she texts me and says, I had a nightmare you broke up with me. Oh my God. She then says that I should cut a hole in my Batman suit for my dick. On October 31st in the afternoon, she says,
As one does.
Tom, I yearn for the big white cock. On November 1st at 1:20 a.m., she says, up? No good night? I love you? Yeah, it's fucking over. I tell her that I'm falling asleep, and she says, you was madly in love with her and not me. I'm gonna myself. I tell her, good night, I'll see you tomorrow, and I then say, do not say anything like that ever again. Now, for a little more context on this specific...
See, this is a girl who was feeling like Tom was already leaving emotionally from the relationship, and she just kind of forced the issue.
Well, it seems like she had this vision of what she wanted the relationship to be, and maybe he wasn't 100% receptive to that vision that she
I can't imagine
had.
why.
And so when she started to feel him pull back a little bit, especially since she wasn't respecting his boundary on not calling it the R word, and she was kind of just doing all this stuff.
This girl screams liability. Screams liability.
Yeah, so maybe he drew back a little bit. Maybe if you just calm down a little, hun.
What does Tom love more, his career or me? It's always going to be his career. I'm telling you right now, girls, and he's going to need a partner who's going to be there to support him and his career, not compete with his career. And I guarantee 9 times out of 10, he's always going to choose his career over the girls. It's just the one thing he's always had in his life. He's been doing this, since he was 12?
Yep, and I'll say it before. I need to say it again. Ladies, if the guy wants to talk to you, he will talk to you.
Yep.
You don't have to be needy and desperate. You do not have to.
Yeah. And if he doesn't talk to you like he normally does, and he doesn't follow it up and like, hey, sorry, I just got wrapped up in some stuff, then that's a normal response. Because there is time, if I could just sit and talk with my girlfriend all day, I would do that, right? But fact of the matter is, I edit. Sometimes I'm just gaming just to get out of my own head and just unwind for a little bit. Sometimes work picks up. But on my slow days, I'm there all day. But I also realize that she can't be available 24/7. And those are the days where you just got to be patient. And, typically the text in a healthy relationships, the text would be like, my bad, I just got really slammed, and they're saying my bad without, you even having to be like, why aren't you texting me? Because they know that this is we've been texting a lot, and now we went from texting a lot to not texting as much. There's got to be a reason. Okay, well, it's either work or it's never you're cheating or that's the beginning of the end. Always.
Especially if you're calling him out and there's nothing else that we've seen, at least from the evidence that's been presented, that there was trouble in paradise, so to speak. I mean, you were calling him your husband, for crying out loud. Yeah.
It's not, it's... If you feel like something's wrong, simply just say, hey, I'm just curious, I'm just, the vibe is feeling just a little bit different. We still good, right? And then typically, if everything's good.
I don't even think you should do that much. I think you should just let it sit.
Well, I mean, sometimes, especially in early relationships where you're still starting to feel each other out, you just, it's just a quick check-in, yo, everything cool? Okay, you're cool. I'm cool. All right, good. And then bam, you're right back to where you were. You don't have to do this whole, it's over. But there's also girls that do that too. They'll specifically self-sabotage just so they can be in some type of control of the situation too. I'm gonna dump him before he dumps me. And that's usually a typical sign of a red flag, as the Blue Jays so eloquently put all night. This girl's a walking red flag. The girl doesn't have a pink buddy as well, does she? I'm sure she's got several different color buddies. all ready to
go.
Okay,
what's the PO? No, I need to know what a pink buddy is.
So when I did my scammer payback video where I was going over like the allegations that were being made against Pierogi, this girl had this sex toy that she called Pink Buddy. So and then she used it so much that she broke the damn thing. So Pink Buddy is got like a mind of its own. So that's why she's saying, does he have a pink buddy?
Yeah, I bet you she does have one, with how active she is in these chats.
She's probably got a 4-stroke twin diesel buddy. You have to hit the choke on it and, you got to pull it with a pull string to get it started.
like a lawnmower.
Yeah. It doesn't have batteries. You got to plug it into the wall to get that fucking thing going.
You know what? Now I'm curious. I've got to see if they really have one like that.
Fallic's like, I'm ordering it tonight just out of curiosity.
Going to Adam and Eve.
No other reason other than curious.
Message and what she's talking about here.
Hey,
during
Tina.
our entire relationship, she was extremely insecure about the fact that...
By the way, Tina, just a heads up, this is a very adult conversation, so if you're not comfortable with like sex talk, I'm just warning you. This is very reminiscent though of my Scary Payback stuff, because this is it's very similar in a lot of the way that these talks are taking place. So
before I was with her, I had lived with a girl, and she wanted me to basically show more commitment in the relationship than I was willing to show, as far as like moving physically closer to her. And at a few points she suggested that we move in together, and I said, it's just too soon. We're not really ready for that. I don't think that makes sense after dating for just a few months to move in together. So that's the context of this. She would constantly bring
absolutely
up shit
not,
and compare herself to my ex or ex-sexual partners in general, but my ex-girlfriend, and I was like, don't say stuff like that. Like, I'm dating you right now. Stop worrying about this. So later on in the night, she texts me saying, mass is needed. I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart for you. I know this. And this carries into the morning where she says, hi, my sweet love. The next day around noon, she says, sorry for being kind of bitchy. Let me know when you're on your way. I say that I have arrived. We take a photo in our Halloween outfits. And on November 2nd, I say that I made it home. And she says that she hopes that I have a good day. So we've now made it through the entire month of October. And there's no indication of any kind of abuse, any kind
Sweet. I tested a lot of toys in my time back in my BFTV days. Don't buy cheapo toys, lady. You risk burning your yacht. Thank you for sharing. I know you're mature enough, Tina. I give everybody the heads up. I don't want to just randomly be like joining in to see what EG's talking about, and it's not like a true crime thing. It's just nothing but dicks and.
It is drama related though, and you've done that kind of stuff before.
Yeah, it is. I just like to give. I think I did the same thing with when I did my pierogi video. That I think I started off by saying these are very, very intimate conversations. So just be aware.
Oh my gosh, sweet goth! I couldn't imagine.
Oh my god.
Out of mistreatment or even really anything negative. But almost every single day she says something about how she loves me, how I'm perfect, how everything is good, and she keeps sending me sexual stuff the entire time without me even asking. At the risk of belaboring the point, I do want to go through a few more messages just for the hell of it, just so I can confidently show that she was extremely sexual the entire time and never expressed any reservations about the sex we were having. On Wednesday, November 5th, out of nowhere, she texts me saying, I'm trying to make you nut. I just don't respond. On December 12th, she sends me nudes again. Kind of a weird thing to send to someone who apparently has sexual blackmail on you again, is it not? On December 24th, she says that I am a sweetie pie. She's grateful for me. She wants to make me nut again, in her words, and she hopes we're married for a long time. On January 2nd, she sends me a naked photo of herself again, unprompted. And the morning of January 8th, Rowan texts me saying that before she comes to visit me, she needs to know that my dick is working. Less than 36 hours later, I broke up with her. So as you can see, the texts don't lie. Rowan was blatantly the more sexual one in the relationship. I've produced evidence of this nearly every single week, and she didn't produce any because there isn't any. But apart from the idea that I filmed her without...
Okay, I think that is at least where the spiciest of the conversation ends.
Her consent, and apart from the idea that I was a sexually abusive partner, she actually made some other claims as well. So another claim she made is that I encouraged her eating disorder.
Yeah, I told him very early on, like, hey, like, I've struggled with eating issues in the past.
Who the hell's that guy? some random guy.
Is he the owner? Is that the owner of Kiwi Farms?
I mean,
I don't know I don't know.
He looks like he could be the owner of Kiwi Farms.
He does.
And I'm kind of still trying to gain some weight and make
Still, though, if he is, that's not the best picture for you.
It's not the worst picture, but it's definitely giving Reddit mod.
Yeah, it's definitely giving Reddit mod.
Sure, everything's okay. And he would tell me, oh, I love how skinny you are. I like how small you are, you know. Like, I love how your body is, like, skinny. And, like, just say all this stuff that was incredibly hard to hear.
This is also a pretty serious claim, and if true, would undoubtedly make me a pretty fucked up guy. But it's just not true. Here, I directly discourage her eating disorder, even giving her advice on gaining weight, and I say starving yourself is very bad for you. In this next screenshot, she says she used to be thick, but she self-nuked. I say you look the same, more or less. I guess you lost some weight, but I think both are attractive. In this next one, she says that she feels skinny fat. I say I don't agree, and I say that working out is good. In this next one, she sends me...
There's really no win, right? Because if you try to encourage them to eat more, they take that as a shot. And if you encourage them to lose weight, to take that as a shot. If you can't encourage someone who's clearly starving themselves either, because that's a shot. Like it's a.
Well, yeah, and what he was saying is he was just saying, hey, if you want to eat slop, go ahead and eat your slop. Make sure you just go for a walk afterwards. Like he was never. That was before she started talking about the body issues. Like he was even just being like, it's okay to eat. Just you can go for a walk. He never really, I don't think, but this is okay. Now this is a trend I have seen in younger women, is this obsession with being very thin, and like that being the most important thing. And you know what? Hey, there are itty bitty titty committee petite loving men out there, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing with trying to find a way to love your body in the way that it is. Whether that's like doing some workouts to kind of self-validate, or whether that's eating food that makes you feel good. You know, we're all at different points in our lives, and there's a healthy way to do everything.
Yeah, and I guess him saying I drank a soda today, I must be punished, like because he's really into fitness or whatever. And then she posts the picture of nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Actually, crab legs taste as good as skinny feels. I'm gonna just put that one out there. But you could, it's just one of them things. Because it's just, social media is 100% behind all the body dysmorphia that so many females face these days, because they post these unrealistic expectations of themselves all the time.
I've seen some sort of like lifestyle influencers on Instagram that like they do body checking, they like do fake what I eat in a day videos, and yeah, it's all about like, oh, I'm eating really healthy. And then in one of the comments I saw a girl say, she was like, this is like, I mean, she's pretty and all, but this is really triggering for me, and this is why, because I have an ED, and she's taking such small bites, and I know she didn't finish her plate, and this is the exact kind of behavior that I used to do. So it's not like you're mentally healthy, even if you look in the mirror and you do your body check and you feel thin,
I saw this really powerful, it was like, I guess it was from a movie or something, where this girl's like suffering with an eating disorder, and he goes, you haven't touched like any of your food. And she shows him how she does it. And she starts like telling him a story, aggressively cutting her food and like just mashing the plate around like she's very interested in what she's eating, but she never actually takes a bite, and then offers him like the rest of it. The way that she does it is very like impressive, that most people wouldn't even catch the fact that she never even took a bite. Blue Jay adds, this was also part of the age play allegations. He likes them small and thin. Yeah, I could totally understand why somebody who's suffering from body dysmorphia would assume that, and I don't think that's true. Actually most men prefer like their ladies a little thick. I'm going to be honest, as a guy who's speaking on behalf of other men, I wouldn't say Sydney Sweeney is a skinny mini. I would say that she's, look at Nicki Minaj, very, Cardi B, very, voluptuous ladies, and that's mainly what men seem to enjoy. So, you know, I think the standard of girls being super skinny is a standard that was set by girls, and they just tend to lean on men when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now, I will admit that there's some guys out there that are very ignorant about women's bodies and stuff, but you know, there's difference between a healthy girl and like someone like Eugenia Cooney. You know, most men aren't interested in someone like Eugenia Cooney. Let's just be realistic about that.
Well, I mean, she wears her illness very clearly on her sleeve. So.
Yeah, most men don't want that. In fact, I would probably say most men would prefer an overweight woman than someone who looked like Eugenia Cooney. So, keep going.
An image that says nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and I say that's a sickening image. Now, for those who don't know, this is it's like a pro anorexia slogan, I guess you would call it. Here in this next screenshot, she asked me if I'd still like her if she gained weight, and I say yes. Here in this next one, I tell her explicitly she should eat more food and drink protein shakes to gain weight, and I also tell her that gaining weight would be healthy for her, as well as saying, I just want you to be healthy. Here in this next one, I tell her that I
What a jerk.
Her sexy how she is, but that it could be healthy for her to gain 5 to 10 pounds. So this is now...
See, that's him, like, knowing how it works by being like, you're fine the way you are, like, don't feel pressured, but I also think that you could probably up your weight a little bit, you know? So he's trying to placate
and maybe
her.
not even... Yeah, maybe not even just, like, in fat. Maybe you could just gain a little bit, like 5 to 10 in muscle, you know?
Yeah.
Help you fill out a little bit more.
Well, first off, if you know anything about Tom, he likes the gains, so I'm sure he doesn't mind his women having little gains as well. And you're right, like thin is like a Hollywood, started off as like a Hollywood standard as well.
7 instances of me actively discouraging her eating disorder, despite her lying and saying that I was egging it on. Now, one of the other allegations that Rowan has levied towards me is that I'm into age play. She's not alleging that I did it with her, she's alleging that I did it with another girl named Ellie, who I briefly talked to 2 years ago. Now, there's no proof whatsoever that I did anything close to age play, but I did text her about these allegations, and she clearly states that I've never done age play.
So Ellie says, I mean, I don't really want to post it on my story. I don't feel like coming back to social media right now, but you have never done age play. You don't have to post yourself or whatever. It's fine. I'm sorry you're going through this whole thing. Would prefer if you could get people to, like, leave me the fuck out of it. We barely date it. I'm going to try my best to minimize you even being talked about. Yeah. So she clearly was not interested in being a part of this video at all.
An ex-girlfriend of mine named Kai, who I dated for 3 years, also publicly posted on Twitter saying that I never abused her and that we never did anything related to age play. So this brings the total counter up to 5 people. Rowan...
I think that speaks to Tom's character a lot, that so many of his exes were willing to be like, yeah, he was fine, you know? That means...
Yeah, this lady's just unhinged.
Yeah, because... Trust me, if he was that big of a douche, there'd be plenty of girls that had no problem being like, fuck that guy. Like, I'm not saying shit for you.
Katie, Ellie, Kai, and another random girl I banged a year ago named Maddie, who for some reason came out in the midst of all of this to post pictures of herself in my house. And all of these people say that I never was into this fetish with them. The closest thing I've ever engaged in...
And he chalked it up to some random girl I banged. Maybe you probably could have phrased that a little better, Tom.
When it comes to age play, is that sometimes girls do call me daddy during sex. It's a little embarrassing given that I am me. I accept that it's something people are...
You know what? It's because you don't have kids. When you have kids, no, I don't like the daddy thing. I've had girls try it. They're all women who don't have kids. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. There's only one girl that gets to call me daddy, and that's my daughter. You know, like...
I've had some male friends say that they enjoy that kind of talk.
Do they have kids?
Well, yeah, one of them does.
I don't know.
But,
I can't.
But a large majority of my friend group that do have kids they're like, one of them was talking about his girlfriend. And he's like, and she just keeps calling me Poppy, Poppy, and it makes me feel weird. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, Because, like, the last thing I feel like thinking about when I'm engaging in intimacy is, like, my daughter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it. I don't need it. I can't, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it.
We're going to see is a little bit strange. All I can really do at this point is accept that it's something that I've done. And I think that Rowan should accept it about herself, too, given that she also called me daddy during sex and over text repeatedly. In the same vein as this accusation, Rowan stated, "One more thing to add I thought was odd. Never really expressed any interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff, but I had like one Hello Kitty figure in my car. As a gift, Tom bought me Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff." So Rowan essentially wants you to believe that I'm pushing Hello Kitty onto her as if I have some kind of weird fascination with it. But the truth is that I am a 23-year-old man, and I don't give a fuck about Hello Kitty, okay? The only reason I bought her anything Hello Kitty themed at all, which was once, by the way, was because she frequently expressed interest in it. Here she is sending me a photo with a Hello Kitty figurine next to her printer. Here she is sending me a photo with a hand-drawn and colored Hello Kitty image on her wall. Yeah, she made these herself. Here, in regards to her decorating my room, she says, "No Hello Kitty?" with a frowny face, and I say, "Correct." And something interesting about these texts is that
see, this is such bullshit, dude. What a fucking liar. If a girl said to me, "No Hello Kitty stuff," and a sad face, you best believe that I'm putting that in, like, my notes. Like, oh, she likes Hello Kitty stuff. You know? Pretty obvious right there. How else did he take that?
Also, don't like the Lolita poster. Yeah, definitely some weird stuff going on with this one.
I mean, she got stuff. Yeah, she got the stuffed animal. She's like in her 20s. I don't know. It seems like she's the one who's.
I'm not gonna shit on the stuffed animals, but
you got stuffed animals, don't you?
I do. I mean, I don't keep them on my bed, but I do have. I've got like little plushies of Dragonite and Snorlax and Eevee.
That's Pokemon. That's different. All right.
I got a Yoshi one too.
My hubby has bought me so much Coach purses. Do you think he has one carrying it to work? What? Hey man, you gotta have a good bag.
She shows that she has a poster of the movie Lolita on her wall. I wonder what the movie Lolita could possibly be about. This film is about a middle-aged professor who is sexually attracted to adolescent girls he calls nymphettes. He rents a room in the house of a young widow to get closer to her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores Hayes Lowe, whom he calls Lolita. Obsessed with the girl, he eventually gains control over her after he takes her cross-country with him. Rowan even says that I should watch this movie, to which I reply that I feel like it's a movie adult men aren't supposed to see. In this next screenshot, Rowan asks me if I start...
That's crazy, dude. That is...
I told you that poster was a kind of like a red flag, especially with everything else she's been saying.
This girl screams daddy issues. Screams daddy issues.
Dressing like a weird Hello Kitty e-girl.
Yeah, I know. I figured a lot of you guys would have stuffed animals. I don't know. I guess since we're talking about the age play, it just kind of, felt like the right thing to say. Nothing wrong with stuffed animals. Do your thing. Do your thing. I had teddy bear up until I was like in my 20s.
Would you still fuck with me? And I replied, "No, I don't want you to do that. I find it kind of repulsive." Here, Rowan is texting me upset that she has to take down all of the Hello Kitties from her dorm room.
Sorry, Blue Jay, that's not what I meant.
Strangest reference to Hello Kitty out of all of them. Here, she's sending me a video that says, "Get you a man that takes you to the Hello Kitty hotel." And under it, she writes, "Imagine the rape here." And I say, I will not.
Okay.
Now, with some of the more insane projections and lies out of the way, I'd like to get into some strange details that Rowan also decided to lie about for whatever reason she may have. One thing that a lot of people pointed out that's strange is that Rowan had taken a photo of us matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of a match because I could kind of tell there was like something weird about this guy. Like, I didn't know if he was famous or what.
So this is like, this is her getting caught in a absolute blatant lie. I'm just gonna let this whole part play. Oh, I'm having a stroke. I'm gonna let this whole part play, just so that you guys can see what I've been saying about her this whole time. Okay.
Matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of a match because I could kind of tell there was like something weird about this guy. Like, I didn't know if he was famous or whatever. And also, I did that to other people as well on Tinder.
just like everybody you meshed with to like gossip with, like girlfriends?
Yeah, like a couple of them. But yeah, he seemed like kind of weird, so I took pictures of our match.
She's also stated repeatedly that she's not a very online person multiple times throughout her testimony. But the wild thing about this is, Rowan had sent me a message on my YouTube connected Instagram all the way back on February 21st of 2024, 15 months before matching me on Tinder, where she said, you have to do a video on this crazy guy on Twitter who only has like 3,000 followers, but this man is a menace. I even confronted her about this when we first hung out, because I found it very strange that she lied to my face when she first met me and said she didn't know who I was. I said, hey, I looked at our messages on Instagram and saw you DM me over a year ago. Rowan said, oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but I watched one of your vids a while ago and thought you were cute, but I thought it would be awkward. I responded, that's okay, I was just surprised. She replied, I know I probably look crazy. I said, I mean a little bit, it's okay. I just wish you told me, that's all. She answered, I didn't want to because I thought it would be weird. I'm sorry. Kind of lied about some stuff. I was like a niche internet micro-celebrity on Twitter for a little bit too. I'm chronically online and didn't want to admit it, lol. I've gotten better about it. Once again, this...
Right there backs up everything I've said about this girl creating this obsession. The fact that she said she's like habitually online. I don't think there's many people who are habitually online who don't know who Turkey Tom is. He's like one of the biggest commentary channels on YouTube. So that just goes to show you, this girl got the opportunity to match Tom and was like, holy shit, I just matched Turkey Tom. But it's important to Tom that he dates girls that don't know him. Now, he could easily use his position to get more women if he wanted to. But it seems like when it comes to relationships, it's important to him that they don't know who he is. And that's why he's disappointed that, it seemed like at this point he had already liked her. So he was just like, all right, it's whatever. But you could see he's disappointed because now he's like, well, do you like me because I'm Tom or do you like me because I'm Turkey Tom? Make sense?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is just another detail that it doesn't even make sense to publicly lie about, but it's just one of those things that makes me question her intentions throughout the entire relationship looking back. Publicly, she's also misrepresented the end of our relationship. In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December, and that after that, she realized how bad it was, and she felt the need to contact Katie, who we're gonna get into later. This is blatantly untrue. We broke up on January 10th of this year, 2026, and she began posting about me on January 14th, literally days later. She says the breakup was kind of mutual, an idea that is just bitterly ironic because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online.
This is where it gets fucking crazy.
To blackmail me into having sex with her again. I don't know what you want me to say to you.
What?
I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just break. We'll break up.
No, you won't. Because I'm going to make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Oh my God.
Why?
Because you don't deserve one.
Why?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Oh
Why?
my God.
Because our whole relationship, you act like everything is all about you the whole time.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. You make it about him all.
Well, let her finish. Most of these people haven't heard this before.
I haven't heard it. I'm experiencing it for the first time too.
Listen, then rage. Listen, then rage.
Right. Calm down.
Okay.
You don't give a fuck. You're just an awful guy, and I'm so sorry that your mom raised you. She seemed like a nice lady, but clearly she did something very wrong.
Oh my.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life, and you'll move on and have your life. And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other. We don't have to cause each other any more anguish, okay?
I just want to see you again, though. Do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Because you're, threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not. Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
I stated blatantly that I did not want to have sex.
If you don't come see me, you threatened to blackmail me. No, I didn't. Well, yes, you just did. Well, not if you come and see me, I won't.
All right.
Yeah, now you can unleash. Now you can unleash.
All right, listen here, you self-entitled little bitch. You're the one who is making the entire relationship about his big white cock, and all you could think about is sucking him off and doing it before or after church. That's what she's been doing. I'm sorry. This is, and then to have the audacity to, in the breakup call, say what your intentions were with whatever you guys had in the relationship, and then trash his mom like she didn't raise him right. No. You need to get all the way the fuck out of town. I'll
admit, girls love to bring up your mother when you break up with them.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say is they love it. I can't tell you how many times I've had, like, people just shit on me and, like, blame my mom for, like, so much shit that she has nothing to do with.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
In fact, I had a girl, I had one of my exes, I was like, I'm not, I was like, I'm flattered that you're still, like, trying to make things work with me. I was like, but I'm, I just don't think it's ever going to happen. And then she had the nerve to be like, well, I hope you and your mother have a good life together because that's the only woman you're ever going to have. And that's when I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Okay. I've met someone. That's why we're never going to work out.
And yeah. And then she said, after all of that trash talk she did in the breakup audio, she still was like, can you come see me? Like, who's entitled here? You clearly are. You started off the relationship with a lie. And I don't like her. I don't like this lady. Not one bit.
And I will say, none of the girls that I've ever dated have ever threatened to blackmail me, though. They typically just, like, leave me alone after that. But,
I'm very surprised he was able to keep his cool. Props to him on his self-control.
Yeah, it just kind of shows you, like... And he's still, after all that, he's, like, blurred out her face most of the pictures. Yeah. Unless she's, like, wearing a Catwoman costume where you can't see her face anyway. Yeah, he's still... doing, the bare minimum to keep her privacy somewhat. Although I'm pretty sure, like, if you really wanted to go find her, you could. But he's not going to contribute. Well, yeah,
as you said, she has a public profile. Yeah. So
I was an internet celebrity for like 2 minutes on X. I didn't want you to know that I'm habitually online because then you're going to know that I'm only trying to date you because you're Turkey Tom. And right there, he should have ran. Right there, he should have known what this was.
Yeah, wow.
With her, I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times and texted me 80 times with no response. She is publicly claiming to be a victim
can we go
of
back and read
sexual
those?
abuse.
You want to go back and read them?
Yes.
All right, we'll read a couple of them.
See me, then I will.
I stated blatantly that I did not want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times and texted me.
All right, if you don't want to talk or listen to me, just say that. Don't waste my time. You need to apologize. Also, I need $900 back from my flight to Maine because it was a waste of my money, apparently. Goodbye, Tom. Good luck impressing the next BPD whore with your limp dick. Oh, yeah, now it's limp. Wow. I have screenshots of you talking about Ellie and how your dick pics were going to be put all over the internet. You're literally such a retard. Tell your friend from Dallas to hit me up. My question is, why string me along for so long and say you loved me when you didn't? And then he responds, it became clear to me that at some point that this would be the response I would get if I were to break up with you. I've been dreading that slowly, considering you just told me you were talking to other guys over the phone and you just threatened to post about me publicly. Realistically, I can't trust you anyway. Is that why you didn't want to break up with me? Because you were scared I would say some dumb shit? So that's so pussy, bruh. I see why you didn't want me to look you up, because it's so bad. You're literally... See... She already knew who he was, so she's still playing like she didn't know who he was. You're literally just as bad as the people you make videos about. like fucking a Bella Delphine impersonator to get your dick leak is crazy, and then telling your girlfriend about it, expecting sympathy, have some self-awareness. You're really just an overgrown man-child in some ways. Most men are just man-children. Ohio impressed. I don't know if that was him or her. And also, I need my money back because you should have told me before the trip to break up with me. And also, you literally sit at home all day and have nothing, have no hobbies. What do you mean, no hobbies? The guy's a fucking YouTuber.
He's incredibly successful YouTuber.
This is a hobby to me. To him, it's a career, except for gym and video games. Have a high body count, but you think you're this high value man. Clearly he is, because you're blackmailing him to take him back. I know whichever girl is unfortunate enough to get into a relationship with you next will go through the same thing I did, because you're like actually so emotionless and mean. Also, you're like mad chopped in the face. I had to look past it. I'm done being a hater.
Again,
see that this is her exposing herself. Like, I liked you because you were a famous YouTuber. That's all she has to say. I liked you because you were a famous YouTuber. I'm done being a hater. You have a lawyer. You can't record me without consent. Posting text screenshots isn't illegal, dumbass. Good luck trying to sue me for posting text message conversations on a public website. No, but he is going to be able to sue you for, trying to make him look like he's like a rapist or whatever. You're literally so stupid, Tom. I should have gone to the police right away, but I have evidence. I told my roommate after, as well as my friend Sophia. You can't even deny it because it's for real, happened, and you said word for word, I liked hurting you. I still remember because of how fucked it felt. I'm getting a no contact order. It will go on your record. You're a fucking narcissist. I also got a lawyer. I hate it having to tell my mom. You were generally a horrible human being. I never loved you. I just love the idea of you. I'm going to the courthouse in Waco when I get there and ordering a temporary restraining order. That's never going to get approved due to past threats you've made against me. He has a shot at getting a PFA against her, but she's not going to be able to get one against him. No shot. No judge is ever going to. All he has to do is send these, and they're not going to grant it.
80 times with no response. She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse while begging me to fuck her again.
Like, you've done all this like weird shit. Like, I don't like it. Like, you're so weird. You treat me badly, especially during sex. And like over the phone, I just listed everything that he had done wrong, and he was like, well, you can leave me if you want. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you.
Liar.
That's basically what happened.
But there was no like specific, like, did you guys talk at all between breaking up and then?
Tom and I?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because
She was debating on whether or not she should lie.
Blocked him.
Well, I guess technically they're not talking, because it's just her texting him, him not responding.
Even this detail is also so insane. While it is true that once she started to lose her mind, I did stop talking to her, she continued speaking at me, alternating between begging me to forgive her for breaking up with her.
Just apologize and I'll stop talking to you.
Saying she wanted to have sex with me again, and sending me psychotic text messages.
You recorded other girls too during sex. You recorded other girls during like the same thing where you don't ask, you just pull your phone out and recorded it. That's illegal, Tom. I hope you delete them because you really have some sick power thing, hitting and choking women, even leaving bruises. It's good to know I'm not the only one who felt extremely uncomfortable. Good God, dude, this woman is fucking unhinged.
Filled with lies that she came up with once I dumped her. Now, with Rowan dealt with, the next person I'd like to address is Clorox Katie. Katie's a girl I had a brief sexual relationship with 2 years ago, and she began posting about me on the same day as Rowan. Now, back when we were hanging out, she flew all the way from California to Maine to hang out with me twice. In the interview, she describes her time with me as the worst experience of her life.
And then you fly back, and how did that go? How long did you stay?
Horrible.
Well, Kiwi Farms isn't exactly known for their truth all the time, Rogera.
Was the worst experience of my life, I think.
And she also took to the forum to make some posts about me. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just actually a Patrick Bateman-type gooner. When asked how things between us ended, here is what she had to say. I just truly thought he was a cringe who definitely was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling, but even my insane ass was scared of how he acted, and he was also just stupid. I hated conversation with him. He was just extremely weird to me and also evil as fuck during sex. Naturally, people asked her why she hadn't reported me to the police, and her response was, I thought about the police and looked into it, but again, it being across my own state lines and in Maine, it would have had to been filed there, and I lived on the opposite side of the country, so it just didn't seem feasible. These claims are once again so absurd to me that the best way to dispel them is to just look through our messages together. In these two DMs, you see that Katie comes to visit me for the first time on January 20th and leaves on January 23rd. She comes to visit me, she says she's excited, she then goes home, and after leaving my house the first time, she immediately texted me saying, I had so much fun, Tom, you can kidnap me whenever. I feel so alone in my bed. She then says that she has to come back. Now, days after coming the first time, she sends me nudes. Once again, this is kind of a weird thing to send to somebody that you're claiming is recording sex with you without your...
Does that sound like the worst relationship she ever had? No.
Consent. Why would you send this person nudes? She then sends me nudes a second time, says she needs it, says so starved, so deprived, and she says that she misses me so much. I say, let's hang out in March. She says I'm down, but waiting until March will be so hard. On February 1st, Katie says that she misses me. On February 2nd, she slides up on my story and says she is counting down the days until she can see me again. She then says that she needs to see me ASAP, and she misses all the things about me. On February 4th, she says she wishes that she woke up cuddling me. On February 8th, she says she wants to have sex with me again. Once again, this is after the first time we hung out. February 18th, she says she's going to swallow me, and she then sends me naked photos of herself willingly. Keep in mind, once again, she's accusing me of recording sex with her without her consent, and then she keeps sending me naked photos of herself. She even sent me a video, by the way. She says, I need you right meow. I need you ASAP. February 22nd and February 24th, we have I miss you and are you home yet? February 28th, she slides up on my story and says, I'm gonna suck you so good. She then says, I need to see you now more than ever. Lots of hugs and hot sex. On March 2nd, she says, I like you lots. And I reciprocate. She says she can't wait to see me again. She then says that she's excited to see me that coming Saturday. In the next screenshot, I say, your pussy's gonna be so sore. And Katie responds with, good thing we had to wait a while, because then I can take a beating. She then says, I'm ready for you to throw me around.
This is why Tom can't date the girls that are obsessed with him. I'm sorry. He can't. This is going to happen.
It just really seems like a liability at this point. Like,
yeah.
And both of these girls could be like fantastic applicants for Fish Tank Live.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember Summer from, I think it was season 2?
Hey, don't you mess with my girl Summer, all right? I did an interview with her.
She's also a little unhinged.
She's actually not as bad as
she's not as bad as these girls.
Yeah,
but
no.
I think she's
when
just
I
too
talked
sensitive
to
for her own good.
When I talked to she was if you go watch my interview with her, she did like she was going through like a manic episode. She's actually very chill. Every time I've talked to her like privately, she's always been very, very chill, very cool.
Yeah, maybe just the environment wasn't suitable for her mental health.
That environment's not suitable for anybody's mental health.
That's fair. It's not designed to be.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Now, when we were discussing how many days she would want to stay, she says, as long as you want, and that we'll have so much sex and party so hard, and she then once again expresses how excited she is. On March 7th, she sends me a barrage of unsolicited sexual photos, including her with BDSM leather on her butt. On March 8th, she says all she can think about is me, and she can't wait for my dick to be down her throat. And on March 10th at 7 in the morning, which is 4 a.m.
What's with all these girls wanting to suck off Turkey Tom?
You know what? I was just about to say, I wonder how that makes him feel, like all of the girls that are just so overly sexually into him. I wonder,
I mean, I'm sure he don't hate it. Let's be real.
I don't think he would, but
he likes the sex. He doesn't like the aftermath.
I don't understand the male mind.
It's we like getting our wangs sucked, let's be honest. Most guys aren't going to turn down a BJ, unless it's from other men.
Yeah, no. And even then, sometimes
sometimes some guys will be like, yeah, I guess.
If I close my eyes.
She says,
if I close my eyes and don't think about the stubble.
That she is so excited to see me that she cannot sleep. Now, with the Instagram messages out of the way, we can move on to the text messages. So on March 10th, this is the second visit, right? Prior to getting there, she says that she is starving for me. Now, March 15th, this is when she leaves. She says, I still have her toothbrush, but that I have to let her come back. Now, keep in mind, Katie, in her own words, said that this second time visiting me was the worst experience of her entire life.
How long did you
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
She basically describes being physically abused in the interview. She even says that while we were having sex, she would ask me to stop doing something, and I wouldn't. But that did not happen. You may also recall her stating that she ended things with me because I was such an insufferable person to be around. She claims that after the second trip, she began to realize she was a victim.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when things really started piecing together to me, that I was like, wait, I think I am a victim right now. Like, something's not right here.
In her words, this is why she stopped talking to me. She says that she was scared of me. She says she was scared that I would beat her. Well, on March 20th, which is after the second visit, she texts me saying, Tom, I really like spending time with you, but I'm kind of worried about if you actually like me or just using me. Lol. I'm just BPDing, and so I'm tweaking and need reassurance. Are you just having fun with me, or do we have something? To which I respond, well, I like you, and I think you're cool, and perhaps we even have something. However, I would make a bad boyfriend, so I don't really want to date anyone officially.
And that's why she's mad. Now, listen, if these girls were like, Tom's a womanizer, Tom uses women, I could probably be like, yeah, he does. You know, but he's not the first YouTuber to probably do that.
He's also not the first man to have roguish tendencies,
yeah.
You know?
Yep. But that's not what they're doing here. Not even close to what they're doing here. You know, be like, yeah, Tom, is a womanizer. Okay, I probably could have guessed that. But they're trying to paint him like he's like an abusive man. And he's, maybe, he sleeps with these women and plays with their emotions or whatever. That's fine. But what did these girls expect when they were going to go over when they're going to fly out to Turkey Tom's house? You know, like, I think they all create these relationships in their head. And when it doesn't work that way, they lose their mind. But unfortunately, that Tom is Tom, and Tom's a celebrity, and Tom does what most celebrities do, and they have one-night stands. A lot of them.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. I was abundantly clear with my intentions with her. I did not want anything serious at that time. But apparently, this is the period she began to realize the true extent of my abuse. Which is probably why, after we had already hung out the second time, Katie tries to arrange a third meeting with me, saying she wishes that she was in Ohio, where I was at the time, and I did not reciprocate. After this proposition, she slid up on my Instagram story 12 times over the next 10 months, and I did not slide up on her story once, not a single time. So ask yourself, do these texts sound like a girl texting a guy that she finds evil and sadistic, a guy that she was even debating going to the police about? Because to me, it seems crystal clear that she enjoyed our time together and even wanted to hang out a third time. You got to keep in mind,
she wanted to hang out until he was like, I don't want to date you, though. And then all of a sudden, no, Turkey Tom's supposed to love me too, as much as I love him. He's evil.
I'm so special. I'm not like other girls.
Yeah, that was not how this fantasy played out in my head the 100 times I had it. We had babies. I was going to premieres with him. I was helping him destroy cars. I was helping him take Brandon Buckingham to the hospital. It's just parasocial.
Here, she flew across the entire North American continent twice, from California to Maine, to see me. After the second time, she wanted me to be her boyfriend. I didn't want to, and she then repeatedly made efforts to contact me and hang out with me again. Now, to close off the video, I think I'd like to share some interesting texts that Rowan sent me about her dear friend Katie, as they're both accusing me of, whatever it is they're even trying to say at this point. After she saw that I was following Katie on Instagram, she messaged me on December 8th saying, did you know Clorox Katie tried to fuck Jet Neptune? Those girls too make themselves easy targets with the hair and piercings because they have sexual trauma. She then says, they complain about sexual assault a lot because they will fuck anything that breathes. 1 month and 2 days.
Wild.
I'm sure Clorox Katie's going to be shocked to hear that about herself.
Days later, I broke up with Rowan, and in the middle of her unhinged tirade about me, she told me that she would be messaging as many girls I had been with as possible to try and find whatever dirt she could so that she could run to the internet about it. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things to the effect of, Tom's a hypocrite, he gooned. And you're right, I did goon. Okay?
He did goon.
I did not stop gooning.
He's guilty of the goon.
So maybe in the end, the hats are more relevant than ever. Anyway, that's about it.
maybe we'll take a lesson from those hats, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Right?
So if I did start the keep gooning hat, then maybe people would stop gooning. Is what we're trying to say here. But that's the end of the video. Obviously,
wow.
Tom vindicated on all charges, and you just got to be careful who you deal with. That's why, especially
he's innocent, Your Honor.
Especially as a public figure, you have to be very, very careful about.
It does sound like he was kind of keeping that in the back of his mind, which is why he has all of these receipts and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, good on him for that.
Well, but he might not even. He might not even been keeping them either. He might have just been like, all right, let me scroll back and look through the text. It could have been that easy.
Yeah, maybe she didn't delete them or something.
Yeah. But if she deleted them and he kept them, then he could still go through them.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. That only works on Discord.
Yeah, only on Discord.
It's just. I wonder at some points if that kind of makes it difficult for you to open up in a relationship. Which makes it harder for you to find like a genuine person, because you're kind of always looking over your shoulder.
If not for anything else, this is gonna make it very hard. Any girl that he meets now is gonna be like
hard to trust.
Yeah, hard to trust, no matter how nice they appear. Either that, or he's just gonna keep doing it and have to make another one of these videos next time he fucks a girl that's crazy. Yeah,
maybe he'll learn something about red flags and what to look out for. Hopefully.
That's a good point, Blue Jay. I'm sure he kept them after she said she was going to blackmail him. So we don't know how long ago that happened, because this has been going on for a couple weeks now. So he probably just went through and just saved everything. But yeah, I mean, again,
said, I hope her mom sees this. Oh yeah, I hope her mom sees this.
I think at the end of the day, what makes this most disgusting is for any woman that actually has dealt with a real abuser.
Yeah.
Gets absolutely wrecked by women like this who claim abuse when it's not happening. And it's really sad, because there are plenty of women out there who do suffer from abuse and need all the help they can get. And these false accusations just make it harder and harder for these girls to be heard.
And imagine coming out with something that happened to you, and people are like, oh, not another woman complaining about men again. And it's like, well, hold on. Sometimes these are legitimate. All right.
Yeah. But it just seems, right after this happening, you're more likely to be like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Heard that one. But and sometimes in those situations, those girls really need help and they need to be heard. And it's just really unfortunate, because these girls don't realize how much damage they do to other women by being mad at men. It's really, it's like shooting yourself in the foot. Again.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's like equal punishment. Mm-hmm. There needs to be like some sort of consequence for having made a false accusation.
Yeah, what if Tom couldn't get these text messages to redeem himself? I mean, all he had was like, I'm not a gooner, I'm just a loser. Or like, he would probably lose a big chunk of his audience, lose his ability to make income. There's just so many things wrong with this, and this girl should be absolutely ashamed of herself, and she should come out and just be like, listen, I was mad, I fucked up.
She's never going to do that. She doesn't think she messed up at all.
She's probably going to double down, if anything, I guess, and she'll just die on the sword. But again, I don't think when these girls do this, they realize they're not fucking over Tom. If anything, they just made Tom look like a nicer guy than he was before she did this. At least to anybody who thinks logically. But really, who they are fucking over are women who are actually struggling, and that's the real tragedy in all this. But anyway,
it goes back to like Amber Heard. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You can finish. Yeah, it goes back to Amber Heard. You're right.
And Johnny Depp, same thing. Yep. Do I think that he was a perfect angel? No, not necessarily. Do I think that she was way worse? Yes, I do. And right now, defamation lawsuits are like the only way that you can kind of try and catch somebody lying on you like this, but that's more civil issue than it is criminal at all. If I'm going to be like an extremist about it, I feel like there should be some kind of criminal charge, like that goes on your record or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There should be like something on there that says that this girl's prone to lying or something. But but you know what also sucks is if this girl does end up with an abuser later on in life, who's going to believe her? You know?
I don't know. When she really needs a little boy who cried wolf, when she really needs help.
Yeah, when she really needs help. All right, guys. Well, that's the story of Turkey Tom. Vindicated as most of us expected. A lot of people who were reviewing these videos when it first came out and the allegations were all saying that something didn't smell right, and they were right. They were right. I know Chud was one of the guys who said that, who reviewed this stuff right in the very beginning. He said that he felt like this was all bullshit, and he tends to have a good nose for this stuff. I felt similar from what I saw, and now Tom just kind of nailed it home. So, Phallic, any last words?
Love you guys. Be safe out there.
All right. Thank you guys all for the super chatters. Crazy Cat Lady, thank you so much for the 25 or the 5 memberships. Thank you to Daniel's crew, as always, for the love and support. Thank you to everybody, the mods. Thank you to the members, especially. You guys are the shit. Without you guys, I don't have this stuff. So the members are the most important thing to me. For Phallic and EG, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.